All right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to Abba and Shamaim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Pick us up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life. And there they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Alahym in you. I come in my Abba's name, and you receive me not. And if another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Alahym only? Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba. There's one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? All esteem and praise to Abba and Shamaim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. Come on, Stevie. Nehemiah 2 and what? 17, man.
Then said I unto them, you see the distress that we are in, how Jerusalem lie waste, and the gates thereof are burned with fire. Come and let us build up the wall of Jerusalem, there would be no more reproach. Then I told them of the hand of my Alahym, which was good upon me, as also the king's words that he had spoken unto me. And they said, let us rise up and build. So they strengthened their hands for this good work.
Yeah.
But when Sanballat the Horonite, and Tobiah the servant, the Ammonite, and Geshem the Arabian heard it, they laughed us to scorn and despised us and said, what is this thing that you do? Will you rebel against the king?
Mm-hmm.
Then answered I them and said unto them, the Alahym Ashani, he will prosper us. Therefore we his servants will arise and build, but you have no portion, nor right, nor memorial in Jerusalem.
Yahuwah Baruch, Quran, man. So let's back up. To verse 9.
Then I came to the governors beyond the river and gave them the king's letters. Now the king had sent captains of the army and horsemen with me. When Sanballat the Horonite and Tobiah the servant, the Ammonite, heard of it, it grieved them exceedingly that there was come a man to seek the welfare of the children.
Now we talked about that, I think, last week, about him coming to seek the welfare. Go ahead.
So I came to Jerusalem and was there 3 days. And I arose in the night and some few men with me. Neither told I any man what my I put in my heart to do at Jerusalem. Neither was there any beast with me, save the beast that I rode upon.
Now pause. Now what do you derive out of verse 12, though? Is there anything to be derived out of verse 12?
Only brought us disciples to pray with him on the roof.
Oh, no. There's a little more to it than that. Peace, brother, on my man. Read it again out loud, man.
Saying I arose in the night.
Matter of fact, just go back to verse 9.
It said, then I came to the governors beyond the river and gave them the king's letters. Now the king had sent captains of the army and horsemen with me. When Sanballat the Horonite and Tobiah the servant, the Ammonite heard of it.
They were what?
It grieved them exceedingly that there was come a man to seek the welfare of Yasharal.
Go ahead.
So I came to Jerusalem and was there 3 days.
You was there how long?
3 days.
And when you did what?
And I arose in the night, I and some few men with me. Neither told I any man whom I put in my heart to do at Jerusalem.
Say, I and some few men with me, huh? You ain't tell nobody what he put in your heart to do? What else?
It said, neither was there any beast with me, save the beast that I rode upon.
How? What you derive out of that?
When he rose from the grave, they told him he had some more to tell him.
When he told him he had some more to tell him.
They would ask a question, and he said, I'm gonna send the Holy Spirit to come tell you more. Said I want to tell you, but I can't tell you right now.
Oh no, he just getting confused. Now he said something a little different than that. But the resurrection of the dead for sure. But this is what I want you to do, Sid. Matthew 27 and 46.
And about the 9th hour, Yahushua cried with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, that is to say, my Alahym, why have you forsaken me? Some of them that stood there, then they heard that said, this man called for Elijah. And straightway one of them ran and took a sponge and filled it with vinegar and put it on a reed and gave him to drink. The rest said, let us see whether Elijah will come to save him. Yahushua, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the Ruach. And behold, The veil of the temple was rent in twain from the top to the bottom, and the earth did quake, and the rocks rent, and the graves were
The
open.
graves were what?
Were open, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose.
How many days he was not days he was there? What did read Nehemiah? How many days he was there?
3.
Go ahead, say it.
And he came out of the graves after his resurrection and went into the Kadesh city and appeared unto men.
Indeed. Go back to Nehemiah 2 and 12.
And I arose in the night, and some few men with me. Neither told I any man what my Alahym had put in my heart to do at Jerusalem. Neither was there any beast with me.
He said he didn't tell anybody what Alahym put in his heart to do. Now, he told his apostles, but they didn't really understand what was going down. So, go to Matthew 28:1. At least with the arose in the night. You know, Matthew 27:50 starts speaking about it ahead of time, about the people resurrected from the dead. You know what Isaiah 26:19 say? You know what Isaiah 26:19 say?
When the dead men arise with his dead body.
Your dead men shall rise with my dead body.
Saying the end of the Shabbat, as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week, came Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to see the sepulchre. And behold, there was a great earthquake. For the Malachim of the Lord descended from Shamayim and came and rolled back the stone from the door and sat upon it. His countenance was like lightning, and his raiment white as snow. And for fear of him, the keepers did shake and became.
That's good. So you see, he arose in the night, few men with him. He didn't tell nobody what he had going on. Let's go to Matthew 16 and 18, just for the aspect of nobody not knowing what he had going on.
And I say also unto you that you are Peter, and upon this rock I'll build my assembly, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. And I will give unto you the keys of the Malkuth of Shamayim, and whatsoever you shall bind on earth shall be bound in Shamayim. Whatsoever you shall loose on the earth shall be loosed in Shamayim. Then charged he his disciples that they should tell no man that he was Yahushua the Mashiach. From that time forth began Yahushua to show unto his disciples how that he must go unto Jerusalem and suffer many things of the elders and chief priests and scribes, and be killed and be raised the third day. Then Peter took him and began to rebuke him, saying, Be it far from you, Lord, this shall not be unto you. But he turned and said unto Peter, Get you behind me, Hashatan. You are an offense unto me, for you savor not the things that be of Alahym, but those that be of men.
That's good. So we read that because outside of him telling his apostles, man, ain't nobody know what he had going on. Shalom, Brother Robert. They ain't know what time it was with that. Let's come back to 2 and 13. And I got something I meant to read it last night. Mama Steph had gave us this here, man, when I tell him about my dog, say he was going through it. Say he felt the need to walk away and separate from the niggas he be arguing with. We'll look at those things, man. It's 9 different locations.
So I went out by night by the gate of the valley, even before the serpent well into the dung court, and viewed the walls of Jerusalem, which were broken down, and the gates thereof were consumed with fire.
Then I went what?
On to the
Shalom,
gates of the fountain, and to the king's pool, but there was no place for the beast that was under me to pass.
Then
went I up in the night by the brook, and viewed the wall, and turned back, and entered by the gate of the valley, and so returned.
And
the rulers knew not where I went or what I did, neither had I as yet told it to the Yahudim, nor to the priests, nor to the nobles, nor to the rulers, nor to the rest that did the work.
Hold on, listen what he said, run it back.
Said, then when I up in the night by the brook, and viewed the wall, and turned back, and entered by the gate of the valley, and so returned.
And the rulers
knew not where I went or what I did,
neither
had I as yet told it to the Yahudim,
nor
to the priests,
nor
to the nobles,
nor
to the rulers, nor to the rest that did the work.
What do you ascertain from that? What do you ascertain from that? Does anybody have anything that you can ascertain from verses 15 and 16? Oh, goodness. Read it again for me.
It It said, then when I up in the night by the brook and viewed the wall and turned back and entered by the gate of the valley and so returned. And the rulers knew not where I went or what I did. Neither had I as yet told it to the Yahudim, nor to the priests, nor to the nobles, nor to the rulers, nor to the rest that did the work.
So you're going to take your money.
That night when he rose, he didn't let nobody know, not even his disciples.
Quran mentioned Luke 24, but you got to narrow that down because that's broad. It's like almost 50 verses in Luke 24. Listen what he said, I went up by the night. So we just discussed that obviously in verse 11 and 12. But the next one he say, and he viewed the wall and turned back and entered by the gate of the valley and so returned. And the rulers knew not whither he went, nor what I did, neither yet told the Yahudim, nor the priests, nor the nobles, nor the rulers, nor to anybody who did the work. So this is the first thing. The last one, right? Who are the ones who do the work?
Apostles.
So that's who you'd be referring to there. Obviously, the other one speak for itself. That's the people as a whole. Now, he mentioned Luke 24. You know what I'm saying? But you got to isolate the verses that you desire. But the first thing you want to do, we done establish arising in the night in Matthew 28 and 1. But what is it that the rulers did not know? So this is what I want you to do, Siggy. Read me verse 1. That, and matter of fact, go read John 20 and 1. Because the first thing I want to knock out the way is they didn't know where he went. You know? And remember the apostles like this here, hey, what, especially Mary Magdalene, what you did with his body. We don't know where he at.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Things of this nature. Go ahead, run that for me, man.
The first day of the week come Mary Magdalene early when it was yet dark unto the sepulchre and see the stone taken away from the sepulchre. Mm-hmm. Then she run and come to Simon Peter and to the other disciple whom Yahushua loved and said unto them, they have taken away the Lord out of the sepulchre, and we know not where they have laid him.
Go ahead.
And Peter therefore went forth and that other disciple and came to the sepulchre. So they both ran together, and the other disciple did outrun Peter and came first to the sepulchre. And he stooping down and looking and saw the linen clothes lying, yet went he not in. Mm-hmm. Then come Simon Peter following him and went into the sepulchre and see the linen clothes lie, and the napkin that was about his head, not lying with the linen clothes, but wrapped together in a place by itself.
You know, we had a conversation with dude the other day. Say when the Lord resurrected, he was butt booty naked. Because of them verses right there, I was like, I don't even know how you came to that conclusion to even want to ascertain that. You know what I'm saying? Now, he wasn't saying it on some old weird type time. It's one of them instances, well, the text don't say he had clothes on. So we shouldn't say he had clothes on. Because, you know what I'm saying? Some people be real rigid like that with certain stuff. Like, that ain't even nothing I ever even thought about.
Yeah, but when Mary seen she knew who he was, he had clothes on.
Yeah, she thought he was the gardener. I don't know too many people gardening naked. Obviously.
You never roll that now.
Go ahead, man. Obviously.
So then went and also the disciple which came first to the sepulchre, and he saw and believed. For as yet they knew not the scripture that he must rise again from the dead.
They knew not what?
The scripture that he must rise again from the dead.
What Nehemiah said. And the rulers neither knew not whither I went or what I did, neither had I yet told to the Yahudim, nor to the priests, nor to the nobles, nor to the rulers, nor to them that do the work. Read verse 9 again.
For as yet they knew not the scripture that he must rise again from the dead.
Now he told them in certain instances that he was going to rise from, but they didn't know it was written though. Notice what he's saying. Read again.
For as yet they knew not the scripture that
they
he must
knew not
rise again from the dead.
They didn't know it was written though. See, it's one thing if I tell you, hey, I got to suffer many things of the Jews and rise again the third day. They didn't know it was written though. Because when the Lord telling you that, he telling you that from the aspect that he know it's written. They didn't know that was written. You know what I'm saying? So even the ones who did the work, they ain't know. They ain't know where he went, what's going on, because he didn't tell them. And when we look at the aspect of didn't tell them, that's when your Luke 24 come in verses 44, 45, and 46. That's when he tell them. Go ahead.
So then the disciples went away again unto their own home, But Mary stood without at the sepulchre weeping, and as she wept, she stooped down and looked into the sepulchre and seen two Malachims in white sitting, the one at the head and the other at the feet, where the body of Yahushua had lain. And they say unto her, Woman, why weep you? She said unto them, Because they had taken away my Lord, and I know not where they have laid him. When she had thus said, she turned herself back and saw Yahushua standing, and knew not that it was Yahushua. Yahushua said unto her, Woman, why weep you? Whom seek you? She supposing him to be the gardener.
Now pause. Now I got to see if you remember. Why would she suppose him to be the gardener?
Because they was in the garden. He was buried in the garden.
That's fair. I can't even dispute that. But we going a little further. I can't even dispute that though, because all of that is accurate. Get John 19:38, just so they can know that what he said was accurate. Yeah, we ain't talked about it in a long time. That's why I asked it, because you might, and it's fair. Yeah, I wasn't even ready for him to say that. That's why I say that's fair. You know what I'm saying? I can't even dispute that. But we done talk about it, but it's been a long time since we had. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I really asked, because I mentioned it when I said, she thought he was the gardener, and I'm like, we just read it, get all the way to it. You say, walk into the sheep. That's fair also, Emma. I can't even lie. Go ahead.
And after this, Joseph of Arimathea being a disciple of Yahushua, but secretly for fear of the Yahudim, besought Pilate that he might take away the body of Yahushua. Pilate gave him leave. He came therefore and took the body of Yahushua. There came also Nicodemus, which at the first came to Yahushua by night, and brought a mixture of myrrh and aloes, about 100 pounds weight. Then took they the body of Yahushua and wound it in linen clothes with the spices, as the manner of the Yahudim is to bury. Now, in the place where he was crucified, there was a garden.
There was a what?
There was a garden.
My God.
In the garden, a new sepulchre, wherein was never man yet laid.
Never man yet laid.
There laid the Yahushua, therefore, because of the Yahudim's preparation day, for the sepulchre was near at hand.
So fair. So where he's buried at, there was a garden there. So that's fair. That we assume that he was the gardener. But it's deeper than that. Not even that complex. An answer been given, but I don't want to say it out loud yet for the people in here. Yeah, on the screen, not in the room. Yeah, that's what it said. But now, what verse in Adam in the garden? Now you got to tell me what verse or why she was supposed he was the gardener. Give him gardener by definition in the Greek. Real quick.
Gardeners, kepuros, a keeper of a garden, gardener.
Keep it and dress it. Genesis 2, verse 14. What you put in the garden, man? What you like to put in yours?
I like leeks and melons.
You like leeks and melons. I mean, you like vineyards. I'm glad you answered that capacity. I didn't have to add nothing to get to where I wanted to go. You know what I'm talking about? Run that though.
And the name of the third river is Hiddekel, that is would go toward the east of Assyria. And the fourth river is Euphrates. And Alahym took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it.
Tell him what it is to dress it and keep it. Now, Emma were mentioning the first fruit in the sheaf in the garden. That's fair also. You know what I'm talking about?
Dresses are bad to work or serve, to labor, to work, to do work.
So he gonna labor in this garden and guard it.
And then keep it shamar, to keep, guard, observe, to give heed, to have charge of.
Now, she supposed him to be the gardener, right? Now go to Isaiah 5:1. After that, John 14:1.
Now will I sing to my well-beloved a song of my beloved, touching his vineyard.
Touching his what?
His vineyard.
Tell him what a vineyard is.
That is Kerem, a vineyard.
Go ahead.
To my well-beloved have a vineyard and a very fruitful hill. He fenced it and gathered out the stones thereof and planted it with the choicest vine.
Choicest vine.
And built a tower in the midst of it and also made a wine press therein. That it should bring forth grapes, and it brought forth wild grapes.
Wild grapes.
And now, O inhabitants of Jerusalem and men of Yehuda, judge, I pray you, betwixt me and my vineyard. what could have been done more to my vineyard that I have not done in it? Wherefore, when I looked at it, should bring forth grapes, brought it forth wild grapes.
Mm-hmm.
And now go to, I will tell you what I will do to my vineyard.
What you gonna do to
I
it?
will take away the hedge thereof, and it shall be eaten up, and break down the wall thereof, and it shall be trodden down. And I will lay it waste. It shall not be pruned nor digged, but there shall come up briars and thorns. I will also command the clouds that they rain no more upon it. For the vineyard of Yahuwah of hosts is the house of Yasharal, and the men of Yehuda his pleasant plant. He looked for judgment.
So if there's a vineyard, if the people is his vineyard and his pleasant plant, and then she's supposing he the gardener, and Adam, the first Adam, was made to work and keep or guard a particular garden, then you know it is his job to work and keep his vineyard and his pleasant plant, which would be the people. You know what I'm talking about? Now we got another verse that's just in my mind outside of John 14:1. We'll come back to it. But go on to John 14:1. Oh yeah, 1 Corinthians 15 and 38.
John 14 first.
Yeah, John 14:1 first. They're mentioning that because the aspect of looking at supposing him to be the gardener, because remember, what did they arrest him at? In a garden. You know what I'm talking about? That's what they caught him at. Now, let me ask you this, if you remember right, if he was caught in the garden and buried in the garden, what is the purpose of him being in these gardens? No? That's fair. I can't dispute that either. That wasn't what we were angling for, but that is accurate. Huh?
I was say the increase, but that's the same thing.
That's fair also. He got to do everything. Second Adam, he got to do what the first Adam did. And if death came in a garden, then life going to come from a garden. It's forth as just following the framework. I said, this stuff, we ain't talked about it in a long time. You know what I'm saying? Just going back over it if you would. Go ahead, man. Shalom, Mickey.
Let not your heart be troubled. You believe in Alahym.
Believe in me.
In my Abba's house are many mansions.
Many mansions.
If it were not so, I would have told you.
I would have told you.
I go to prepare a place for you.
Peace, Brother Joseph.
And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there you may be also. And where I go, you know, and the way you know. Thomas said unto him, Lord.
I told you the wrong place. It's 50.
I am the true vine, and my Abba is the husbandman. Every branch in me that bear not fruit, he take away. And every branch that bear fruit, he purgeth, that it may bring forth much fruit. Now you are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Abide in me, and I in you, as a branch cannot bear fruit of itself.
Can't bear fruit of itself.
Except it abide in the vine.
Except it abide in the vine.
No more can you, except you abide in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. He that abide in me, and I in him, the same bring forth much fruit.
Now, of course, you know that's going to take us back to what's in Genesis about Joseph being a fruitful bow on the wall and so on and so forth. But 1 Corinthians 15 and 38. But this is another example, you know, all this springing from the verses in Nehemiah. Now, you wouldn't think that all of that would be able to spring from a verse that's just telling you, hey, the rulers knew not where I went or what I did. Neither did I tell the Yahudim, nor the priests, nor the nobles, nor the rulers, nor the rest that did the work. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I be meaning when, you know what I'm saying, you look at certain things, you don't got to rush or speed. You know what I'm saying? Look at it and assess it, because that man testimony, shalom, Brother Marcus, is you know, in every verse and every line, for lack of a better term, you know what I'm saying? It's a very beautiful thing to say the least, because you can see how his witness is interwoven. I just want you to do this for me. Read Romans 16:25 real quick, like mine, on general principle. And that's why when I put to you this way, right? Go say, you know, for the book Grandma's Bible, okay, my submission for that book is, you know, what your meta ray is, or your wheelhouse, your specialty. You know what I'm talking about? And, you know, when you look at the testimony of Yahushua, now, of course, this particular piece of literature is going to be contained in it, but it's going to be more from a scholarly point of view. Now, I mentioned this for a reason, not for the plugging of the book, but for the understanding of writing if you in a scholastic realm. When it comes to the testimony of Yahushua, they ain't going to see it how we see it, because they're going to be like, from a scholastic point of view, you stretching it, or you doing this, or you doing that, or you doing this and you doing that. when the reality of the situation is the word was never meant to be communicated from a scholastic point of view in the first place, because this is not that type of literature. Now, because of the world that we live in, of course, and you have places of higher learning and things of that nature, they're going to take it and view it from a different perspective. Hold on, let me see what Emma told me when it came to that. And how she wanted me to write it.
I was reading something on that too, though.
Was
Why
that?
all the original scriptures with pictures, because it paint that picture better when you read it like that.
See, look at that. Praise the Lord. There go Emma right there. Emma, I was just reading them, and that's facts, because it's going to be able to communicate it better. What I was telling them, what you was telling me, right? So she was telling me about how we're going to have to put it in there for methodology, because that would keep it safe from hostile scholarly reviewers. You know what I'm saying? And what did that mean? You know, you have to mention, okay, this is the type of method we using, because they'll use that to invalidate and discredit what you're saying. You know what I'm talking about? Now, when you're dealing with the gospel of Yahushua strictly from a godly standpoint, you know, strictly from a Taladim standpoint, strictly from a Debar standpoint, the methodology is Yahushua is the Son of God, and his testimony is from Genesis to Malachi. And blessed be those who see, and blessed be those who hear, and have a heart to understand so they can be converted. They're not approaching the word from that perspective. Now, y'all may not know that, you know what I'm saying? But those of you who do know that, like you just mentioned, they know that, so they're going to attack it. How many times you used to hear the niggas say, oh, you stretching that? You doing this, you doing that. We're not doing nothing. We look at this verse say this. Matter of fact, do me this favor. Read me, amen, Emma, what you said, canon first. That's the word I was looking for. They're going to cycle everything through quote-unquote Christian canon. So if it doesn't cycle through quote-unquote Christian canon, they're going to reject it. You know what I'm talking about? Now let's take it away from the canon part of Christian of Western Christendom, and let's look at the Israelite part. Okay, so Hebrew Israelites, you know what I'm saying, for lack of a better term, they have a canon.
I don't think everybody understands what canon is.
You're right. I need to explain that. I appreciate that, because you did right.
Something they measure it up against.
Now, when you're dealing with canon, that's a generally an accepted rule, standard, or authoritative list, often applied in literature, art, religion, to define the official storyline. So the official canon, like say the Bible you have right now, that was the official canon from the Council of Nicaea. Like, these are the accepted books that we use. You know what I'm saying? Now, whether you want to take the Testament of Abraham, the Testament of Judah, the Testament of Adam, yes, ma'am. And Emma did write a book on that, and I'll put the link on there called From Canon to Chaos, because that's what it means, right? Now you take Israelites, they have an accepted canon, whether it's One West or anything else. Now, I'm only mentioning that because I've been in circles with these people for a long time. When you go to talking about this man's testimony, because you done bear witness to it, you probably done bear witness to it when you've been in them circles, you done bear witness to it. What the first thing they tell you? You stretching that. Nigga, we don't stretch no dough. I don't put no cut on that. You know what I'm saying? We put that joint straight in the pot, pop, pop, let him lock him, you know what I'm saying? Put him on the block, man. Ain't no need to water nothing down. I think I got that book in my files, but I'll check it a little bit. I know I got it in my files. Ain't no think I know I do. You understand what I'm saying? So I want you to read Proverbs 8. And you know, look at the Lord, because that time that Mama Steph showed up for that, mentioning that, you know what I'm saying? Because we was talking about that, and what she was telling me, like, hey, because we want, now me personally, I appreciate Emma saying I want to shield you from that. I don't give two London dams about no scholarly reviewer. You know what I'm saying? He can, you know what I'm talking about? He can get a foot straight up his rectum and screw him in a vagina that he emanated out of. You know what I'm talking about? Because you stepping in the realm of, hey, cuz this ain't, we not on that. You not finna philosophize and scholarize. That ain't no word, but I just made it one. This man's testimony. You not finna do that, because this man's testimony is what leads to life. What you trying to do is you trying to intellectualize something that is not intellectual. It's spiritual. You can't do that, sir. You know what I'm saying? And that's your business if this is your frame of work. You know what I'm saying? But again, the book of Yahuwah, the scriptures were never a scholastic endeavor. They never were that. And just because some white men decided to make it that does not make them the final authority. You know what I'm saying? Let's just let that be known. But go ahead.
I was just thinking about like how Chris, just one topic, like Christian canon say he died and resurrected on Sunday. Like that's Christian canon based on how they telling the story.
Facts.
That he died and resurrected on Sunday.
Facts.
But the word say he was dead 3 days. We already debunked that. That's how the canon separated the gospel. Because the gospel says as
Jonah was in the belly of
3 days.
3 days.
3 days. The canon don't say he was in the grave 3 days. The story that they tell.
That's a fact. That's why you have Good Friday and then Easter Sunday.
Right.
Because that's their canon.
Right.
Remember, canon is authoritative, accepted rules or standards. So you know what I'm saying? When you're dealing with what's their effective rules or standards, when they criticize or go over anything that you write or say as it pertains to that, that's what they're scrutinizing it by.
That's what they taught in theology school.
And for the most part, that's what you're gonna get from seminary and theological school. That's why your man's was coming at you like that, because he coming at you from the canon. You know what I'm saying? So the stuff you saying is outside the canon, so he think it's something wrong with you. Because why is you saying this to me? This ain't the accepted canon, and that's why he was having problems with his pops, because pops looking at you like you coming outside the accepted canon, and you telling me I'm wrong. And realize, man, the canon don't mean nothing, because the canon is not the authoritative standard bearer here. Your God is. So when you don't know who he is, then you're not going to be able to understand what the standard is. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have so much conflict in religious spaces, because everybody's really operating from their accepted standard and rule. And very rarely, as you just stated with Easter, very rarely is that standard based on what's actually written in the book. You know what I'm saying? It's based off of what my doctrine is and what I want to be taught, or what I believe that this text is saying that fits the theological stance that I hold, that I want people to take hold to. You know what I'm saying? Versus like what he says in Isaiah 40, there's no searching for my understanding. You know what I'm talking about? But they'll say, when you look at ecclesiastical history, it's common for edicts that stigmatize and dang, I know that word, but I can't pronounce it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Outside the canon, and that is a fact, and that happens a lot. But run me Proverbs 8:1. And that's why I've always told you, when we run across people, they don't really know what to do with us. You know what I'm talking about? Because I ain't got no canon, cuz. Our canon is search the scriptures, nigga. Because in them, you think you have eternal life, and they testifying to him, and everything flow from out of that. And that's why it's hard. Case in point, that's why you have arguments about when does a day start. Because it's going to be based off, oh, that's the canon say evening. We don't believe it say evening, so we going against that versus what does his testimony say? And that'll tell you everything you need to know. You see what I'm saying? And as simple as that. It'll tell you everything you need to know. Even we would just people discussing, okay, was Adam made to live forever? Well, what does his testimony say? If he was made to live forever, you're telling me a mortal being can lose immortality to pick it back up. That don't even make common sense. That don't even make common sense. That means there was a height that he could achieve too, because you can't be immortal if you're made from temporal things. Common sense should tell you that. From just looking at the text, what did he say he was made from, Sibo?
Earth.
Dust. Dust is not immortal. I don't care. You can go out there and get any dust off that ground. Boy, that's not immortal. Shoot, we been arguing with my dog. He don't believe Adam was made from dust. He be like, so you mean to tell me he just made a full-grown man? I'm not telling you anything. That's what it says. But now this the thing is, whether you believe that or not, that's up to you. But it says what it says. You know what I'm talking about? But there's a lot of things like that. I ain't mentioning that direct because I mess with him about that all the time. I'm just telling you that's what it says. People have a hard time dealing with that because they want you to, nah, bro, I'm not here to argue with you about was he a full-grown man or was he a baby or not. But it says he made it from the dust of the ground. Don't matter that's what it says. Some people want to argue about what it says. It says what it says. You know what I'm talking about? But listen, I don't think, hey, shoot, Barry, I don't think you're the only person that don't believe that. It's a lot of people like, I don't believe he made a full-grown man from the dust. And that's fine. But that's what it says. You know what I'm talking about? Because if he called him Adam, Adam don't mean boy, Adam mean man. You know what I'm talking about? Because if he wanted to call him a boy, there's a name for boy. He would have called him a boy. He called him a man. You know what I'm talking about? Now you got to take that up with him when you see him. All I can tell you, that's what it say. Just like, and this ain't new. I've heard people say it before. People believe Genesis 1 and Genesis 2 is two different creation stories. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? But we got to deal with and that's what we mean on there's a canon. And then some people go outside that canon, and then people who in that canon and outside that canon, hence why emanating the book from canon to chaos, that's why you have chaos. Because like I said, Christians have a canon, Israelites have a canon. And that's why everybody bumping heads. Shalom, brother Ernest, man. Go ahead, though. What I got to
Right. Say, do not wisdom cry and understanding put forth her voice. She stand in the top of high places, by the way in the places of the paths. She cried at the gates, at the entry of the city, at the coming and at the doors. Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of man.
What else?
O you simple, understand wisdom, and you fools, be you of an understanding heart.
What else?
Herefore I will speak of excellent things, and the opening of my lips shall be right things. My mouth shall speak truth, and wickedness is an abomination to my lips.
And what else?
All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There is nothing froward or perverse in them.
What else?
They are all plain to him that understands.
They all what?
Plain to him that
Tell them what
understands.
plain means. Say what comes first, the chicken or the egg. The chicken full grown with the ability to produce an egg. Hey, you ain't get no argument for me because at that point, do you think he made full grown animals when he made them or were they babies? I don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? But and I ain't saying that to be funny, but some people really be thinking on that micro of a level about certain stuff like that. And I'm gonna be honest with you, in my opinion, it's what draws some people away from the word. Because like, bro, I ain't never thought about none of that. I never thought about this until a young lady we know asked, so if Adam wasn't born of a woman, why he got a belly button? How do you even know he had a belly button? Why is you thinking about if he had one? Like, how did your mind descend into something that you could never be able to prove if he had one or not? Maybe he didn't have one, but obviously any children they had would have one based on how you were birthed. I don't know. That's nothing you can't even prove. There's no way you could validate that. The only way you can validate that is if the Lord opened heaven. I'm going to say, check this out, right? I got Adam buried over here, right? I'm going to reanimate him so you can see if he had a belly button or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. You say, but how can you question one specific part of the book but believe he resurrected? Shoot. Let me tell you something. It's people who question multiple parts of the book. It's people who read out the book, teach people out the book, and effectively don't believe 60 to 70% of it. Some of them don't believe none of it. You know what I'm saying? But for them, it's, hey, how can I explain this? And mainly because I was reading, because I just noticed people were saying they thought Netanyahu was dead and things of this nature, right? But I already knew this without me knowing some Jewish people to tell you this. If you meet Jewish people, they don't look at the word as a religion. They look at it as this is our culture. You know what I'm saying? See, you approach the word differently from how they approach it. They don't approach it like, I'm finna go praise God. I'm finna go do this. I'm finna go do that. This is the cultural practices that we do. I may not believe any of it, but I'm going to keep the Sabbath. I'm going to keep Pesach. I'm going to show up for Yom Kippur. I'm not going, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to do all these ritualistic things simply because this is our culture, not because I believe it, not because I dedicate my life to it, but this is just what we do. Now, see, quote unquote Negroes in America, they approach the word differently. You know what I'm saying? you are 100% like, oh, I believe God is real. Everything in it, I got it. You know what I'm saying? Woo, woo, woo. They don't view it that way. So again, when you get in theological spaces, and we never got around to doing what I want to do with that, I still got the documents that Mama sent me, I believe. When you, especially if you go to theologian school, things like that, and you start getting into textual criticism and things of that nature, you and people who in theological spaces, they don't look at the book the same way you look at it. Because they gonna want to examine the manuscripts, where these manuscripts came from. You know what I'm saying? Who wrote this? Who wrote that? It's some things people read in there and they be like, this is unexplainable. I don't know if I believe that. So they put it away because, of course, you know the Hebrew word for wonder is palah. This is an extraordinary act. But some people, hey, I can't believe he made the sun stand still, or he formed a man from dust, or he resurrected a man from the dead. You know what I'm saying? Or this or that, or this or that. You know what I'm saying? So some people don't look at it that way. But they may accept certain parts of the book, and they may not accept other. I think that was sent me a video with another group of archaeological, you know what I'm saying? I always say that word wrong. That went to Egypt, went in the Red Sea, used some different equipment previously, and not only found Pharaoh's chariot wheels, but bones of humans and horses. You know what I'm saying? Some people will see that and accept it, and some people won't. You know, it's people who done went over there and they done found the rock that he was supposed to split, and they done found them 12 pillars that he put. You got some people that have an issue with the text because they like it don't line up historically 100%. You know what I'm saying? You got the one part that always tripped me out is, well, this group of people wrote this first, when the Bible never proclaims that they were the first to write down anything. This is a recorded history about a specific group of people and their relation to this particular deity. Not that we the first to record a flood story, or not that we the first to record, because some people approach it this way. I'm just telling you this here because we mentioned methodology, and you talking about from a scholastic point of view. This is how they approach it. They're not going to approach it like you approach it. So that's why if you was to ever come across them, you would be perplexed in a conversation with them because you would be unaccustomed to it. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not approaching it from the aspect of you believe this for the salvation of your soul. They are literally approaching this from a scholastic point of view. They're going to scrutinize this book at the same. Thank you, Emma. They're going to scrutinize this book from the same aspect that they would scrutinize any other book written by someone. Which is why a lot of Bible believers have what's the word I'm looking for? You know what I'm saying? Shoot, I can't. It's escaping me. Just have a conniption. That's it. Just go absolutely crazy when they talk to these people because you have a set of methodology and they have one. You know what I'm saying? And y'all don't understand how each of y'all are coming to your conclusions based on the methods that you're using. So then you like, this nigga's crazy, and they're like, oh, this person's an idiot. They believe in fairy tales. You know what I'm saying? This is how it happens. What else I had you hold inside?
Romans 16 and 40, Romans 16 and 25, Romans 15 and 38. That word for plain was nakawak, straight, right, straightness, or to be in front of.
Which word?
The definition for plain, and probably not.
Mm-hmm. So he said these words straight. They upright. They right in front of you. Come on, give me Romans 16 and 25. She thought she was trapped in the closet.
See, now to him that is of power to establish you according to my gospel and the preaching of Yahushua HaMashiach, according to the revelation of the mystery, which was kept secret since the world began, but now is made manifest, and by the scriptures of the prophets, according to the commandment of the everlasting Alahym, made known to all nations for the obedience of faith. To Alahym only wise be esteemed through Yahushua HaMashiach forever.
That's right.
Amen.
So now the secret been made plain. Now let me read this here, right? So this is what you got on here for the methodological rubric. This is an attested fact. The place and people name or its close cognate appears in extra biblical textual sources and or is archaeologically documented. The name is attested in ancient sources, but the precise mapping between the biblical reference and modern geography remains debated among scholars. Not securely identified, the name appears in scriptures but lacks firm extra biblical correlation or clear archaeological confirmation. So when you take in the fact of, and you can read Psalms 40 and 7 on general principles. We started with John 5:39, but you could read that too. It ain't gonna hurt nobody. Yeah, because I meant to do that about 6 to 8 months ago. And y'all willing, when we get done with what we're doing, we need to revisit that so y'all can at least understand what that looks like to a degree. As far as how scholars or scholastic people approach the text, because they do not approach it the same way that we approach it. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to say that you'll ever come across anybody who would do that, but as Emma like to say, slavery is over with, so you can read what you want. I wager you gentlemen might read a multitude of different things on different topics. You may come across books of that nature. It'll help you understand their point of view of what you read. You know what I'm saying? Or it could be like a situation like when Glover took me to meet that pastor at Burger King, and he told me I needed international knowledge. But I think that's because he was only speaking from the aspect from a canonical point of view, because I wasn't speaking from that point of view. That's why when we used to talk to these people, and I'd be like, pick the book, chapter, verse, nigga, make it light on yourself. They ain't know what to do with that. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm telling you, okay, we believe Yahushua is the Son of God, and he's in every line, in every book, in every chapter, and you say, no, he's not, you ready for me to say Psalm 22, Isaiah 53, Daniel 7. That's what you're waiting on. You know why that's what you're waiting on? Because every person who holds this point of view, you know where they're taking them to? Psalm 22, Isaiah 53, Daniel 7. And I'm telling you, don't even worry about all that. You pick the book, chapter, verse, and you make it light on yourself. Now, when you're dealing with a canonical individual, you know what that does? That throws them for a loop, because now they don't know how to operate, because you are not operating according to the authoritative standard that they're accustomed to. Case in point, when you look at the scribes and Pharisees, for lack of a better term, some of the traditions that they were coming with were canon. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they were enforcing on the people. So when Yahushua come around, he's not coming at them according to the canon that they have accepted. Try to catch him up in his speech to have something to accuse him of, because they can't pin him in because he's not operating according to the canon. So this is a problem. We can't do nothing with him. So since we can't do nothing with him, guess what we're going to have to do? Slander him, try to catch him up, lie on him, get whatever we can so we can get this nigga out of the way. You know what I'm saying? That, but also you have to look at it from this aspect, right? Because that's not obviously by their behavior they didn't believe. But you have to look at it. These are the authoritative figures of the time. You know what I'm saying? So remember, he said, read me Matthew 15. Do that for me.
But when did they roll with the mindsets lead to the salvation?
Say that one more time.
I said, when did them roads lead them to the salvation?
Nah. That's why they had a problem with the Lord, because you coming through. That's why when you deal with a Christian per se, they have their canon. And like I said, that's why you say you be having issues with your mans. If you not speaking according to that canon, they shut down. They're gonna think you got a devil on you. At least black people, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna think you got a devil on you. You know what I'm saying? You Satan himself. They don't want to hear you. If you deal with a white Christian with that canon, they're gonna think, oh, he's a heretic. They're gonna shut down. He's not going to hear nothing you have to say, because what you're saying isn't according to the authoritative canon that they accept. Now, you talk to an Israelite. If what you're saying is not according to the canon, because see, we're going to toss doctrine out the window from now on. We just going to say canon. These are the things that we accept. If you don't speak according to that, they don't want to fool with you. I can't kick with you. I can't fellowship with you. You know what I'm saying? It's how they operate. You got a group of people. Baptism is against their canon. Oh, you say you believe Yahushua was born of a virgin? That's against their canon. So they don't want to hear nothing you got to say. Because at the end of the day, that's really what it is. They have a standard, and you have to mention and teach things according to the standard that they accept. And if you don't accept that standard, then they're going to look at you differently. They're going to deal with you differently, and it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, he said that's not too different than people who always opposed so-called conspiracy thinking. Yeah, to a degree. I can't even would you say sister call you a devil? You know, black folks quick to call you a devil in a minute. Just like, okay, boom, like Monte sent that video, I resent it because we were talking about that stuff with voodoo, right? I ain't never looked into no voodoo doll. But when you look into what a voodoo doll was, it was their version of a my chart. But what ends up happening? Somebody told you that's of the devil. You run with it. You don't actually know that. Because if you watch that video, that's what it said. Somebody come in there because it said you couldn't read or write. You couldn't do this. You couldn't do that. You sick. I got a headache. Okay. Put the lavender and chamomile under your nose. I'm going to take this doll and I'm going to put this pin in your head to symbolize this is what you came in here to see me for. When you come back 2-3 weeks later and I ask you, oh, is you feeling bad? No, I'm going to send you the video. And one of the brothers sent me the video by a dude explaining what a voodoo doll was. You know what I'm saying? He was like, that pin represented what issue you had. So he said, when you come in here and you say, hey, your head still hurting? Nah. I'm going to take the pin out. You know what I'm saying? He say basically that was their doctor chart because they couldn't have one. You know what I'm saying? And then over time, it becomes something else. And somebody told you it was this or that, or somebody took it and made it nefarious when the original creation of it wasn't that. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't nothing for me to think of because one, we don't live in Louisiana and we don't live around a bunch of Haitians. So being concerned with a voodoo doll is least of my concerns. You know what I'm saying? But the same token, because a lot of us done been right over here on Sesame and seen Doc Ross, and he done did the same thing that man in that video was saying they were doing during slavery times. And it makes sense. Can't read or write. You can't do this. How am I going to know what you came in here for? It's okay. We're going to make a doll. Put a pin in. You know what I'm saying? You come back, I'll know. You still got that headache, baby? No, I ain't got it no more. Okay, we can take that out. You've been healed. You know what I'm saying? And we can go on about our business. If you ain't still got that issue, then I got to keep it in there. But you know they done took it, made it something else. You know what I'm saying? And it just is what it is. Hold on, you got my phone number, brother Ernest? Hold on.
I can say that's what a nigga voodoo dog. The doctor giving you some junk and messing you up. You can't mess with your dog. And that's not really wrong with you. I can see a nigga doing that.
Yeah, because we know doctors doing that right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Give you all type of stuff, ain't nothing wrong with you.
Call that a chart switch.
Chart switch. I just using my chart because guess what? Most of y'all walking around with your chart on your phone right now. At least I hope you is. You got my chart on your phone? You got my chart on your phone? That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. I damn sure got one. Shoot, where is that? I jump right there, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, that jump do you good, boy. But guess what? You might pull up on a different doctor. They don't know. Hey, check this out. Boom, no, I don't need that. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now we was just talking about this because we've been talking about this because Emma writing a book. I told you she writing a book on it. These niggas lose their brain. I don't know nothing about it. That's not my thing. I say outside of the superstition part, I don't care about the superstition part. I don't care nothing about that. But as far as the other part of it, but that junk was herbal remedies and healing. That's all it was. That's all it was. The same thing that in 2026, everybody is oh yeah, I'm gonna go see the herbalist. I'm gonna see this here. That's what everybody on. Okay, well, during slavery, effectively, that's what hoodoo was. Because that's what the root worker was. You call him a root worker, well, what's the root? Your burdock root, your dandelion root, you know what I'm talking about? And things of that nature. Bet. Just text me, man, and I'll send it to you. Because at the end of the day, that's what you call it. It's a root worker. What is the root? It's herbs, man. Guess what? That blood pressure tea, you know what's in it? Dandelion root, burdock root, hibiscus flower, and the other one I can't remember. You know what I'm talking about? So is Doc Ross a witch because he made a tea with burdock root, which is known to be a diuretic, and dandelion root, which is known to be a diuretic, which is drawing the fluid out of the body, which will help lower your blood pressure? Is that witchcraft, or is that just, that's right, Emmett, stuff work? I'm just talking about stripping it down. This ain't advocating for you got to do this, that, and the third. It's to understand historically what your ancestors were doing at a particular time. The superstition stuff, that's something else. That part of hoodoo, I don't care nothing about that. That junk's stupid to me. I'm not finna split no pole. I'm not doing none of that. You know what I'm saying? But as forth as that, how many of y'all people say, drink this lavender tea? Most of y'all grew up at your grandma's house, and when your stomach was upset, what she gave you, little Johnny? You ain't go to Granny house? That's unfortunate. When y'all stomach was messed up, man, what she gave you? Or ginger ale. Well, guess what? Ginger, in it is of itself, that's what the root worker would give you. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. It's taking the actual things that's out here that you can plant and grow and use them. That's what your man had you on. What he wanted you to drink. You remember who? You know what he wanted you to drink. Some of that Cereseed.
Here you go, Will. What?
Some Cereseed. You know what I'm saying?
Grab a leaf off a tree. Here you go.
She gave you what's that? Ecstasy. I ain't never heard that before. They say castor oil too. Ooh, Lord. I heard about castor oil. But listen, these are all natural remedies that are listen, man, because I'm just mentioning this here because in 2026, that's what everybody on these days and times in. Get your herbal remedies and take the natural stuff and don't take the medication. Well, your forefathers, that's all they had, nigga. You couldn't go get no Pfizer medication, man. You know what I'm saying? Man, they had to have an understanding of each herb, each flower, what it did, how it affected the body. That's what set Doc Ross out differently, in my opinion, from other herbalists, because he not just finna say, take this herb. Because he know that biochemical-wise, everything affects everybody's body differently. Just because he can have a headache and I give him chamomile, don't mean I can give it to him. Because he might start bleeding out the nose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, some of this is what she was talking about.
Okay. Civic found it. Mother Sharona say a pungent dried gum resin from ferula plants, historically worn in small bags and around the neck to ward off diseases like colds, flu, and polio. Has a strong sulfurous garlic-like odor.
That's what baby gave me on Sinners.
Yeah, because Mother Sharona just mentioned that. Misha said Alka-Seltzer plus Robitussin. See, Robitussin fix everything. Got a broken bone? Give him some Robitussin. You see what I'm talking about? Constipated? Give him some Robitussin. It's gonna fix everything. You know what I'm talking about? But no, like I said, like niggas be going crazy because niggas walk around, you know, with them crystals and that cop on. But like I said, man, I have been looking at some stuff. I said that before most of y'all came in. I told my team that, like, when you go look at it, hospitals in the early 1900s made out of copper. Door handles out of copper. You know what I'm saying? All this type of stuff, because what they don't like to discuss, she said, made you eat Vicks Vapor Rub.
Eat it? That's crazy.
My God. Cod liver oil. Nisha say and Father John's. I don't even know what that is. My mama ain't never gave me this. Emma say, take this cough syrup before you raise my light bill. He say your folks gave you mineral and castor oil. Ginger ale was a privilege. My God, today. But now listen, right? Because from what I was looking at, they say the Rockefellers changed all that. It's for hospitals having copper and all that type of stuff, because niggas getting healed. That's what I'm finna mention. Because people don't talk about it, but it is a reality. Like, as a human being, your actual insides are electrical. So, you know what I'm saying? Niggas walking around with copper chains, and it's really for conducting of the electrical currents that's in your body. But a nigga tell you now, that's witchcraft. He got them demon chains on. Because you don't even understand your own body. You know what I'm saying?
You been lied to.
Listen, man. When they were doing the life-saving measures on Mom Dukes, man, they was like, they kept going because it was like her heart was still giving an electrical charge. I was like, shoot, cuz it probably was the pacemaker. You know what I'm saying? But at the same token, it's still electrical charges is what keep your heart going, which is why they put a pacemaker in you in the first place. And you know who made a pacemaker? A black man. Which also, damn, I mentioned now it's on my brain. Because y'all with it, man, this week, man. Because I had been steady. When we were last, I think I told you that we had rolled by the Ritz. And I was telling Lil Muffin, like, you know, Jacksonville was the Harlem of the South. Like that whole, some of y'all may not know that, but y'all know that whole area downtown La Villa, that junk was different. You know, that junk ain't like that no more because them crackers built 95. And when they built 95, they tore everything down, pushed all the niggas out. You know what I'm talking about? But nevertheless, then I seen another video on it. Fat Boy son in the video. I'm like, man, shoot. I need to take them to the museum. They got some junk going on at the museum. The junk is free, but it ain't free. It's free as ain't no ticket price. It ain't free because all they asking for is a donation. Whatever the donation is, and whatever you give them. That jump from 10 to 2. Because they need to know that. Because, especially is in my brain, because she finna go to James Weldon Johnson. I know you know who that is, don't you? You know who that is?
Who that is?
James Weldon Johnson.
I know the school. I don't know who that is.
Oh, that's he from here. Black man. He the man who actually wrote Lift Up Every Voice and Sing.
That's a Negro anthem.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Was educated. You know what I'm saying? He ended up moving to Harlem and came back. He was a principal at the original Stanton.
That's my grandma high school. That Stanton was a black people's school.
Yeah, Stanton was all black school.
Yeah, I know that.
You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm talking about? Listen, man. Because you know some people in Jacksonville got an inferiority complex. But there's a lot of real stuff went down in that city, and for whatever in this city, and whatever reason it stopped. Whether this was the original Hollywood or the fact of some people, some stuff I was reading, they were basically saying, nah, Jacksonville wasn't the Harlem of the South. They were saying Harlem was the La Villa of the North. You know what I'm talking about? Because it was serious down here. It just, hey, we want to build this highway, and it disrupted the entirety of what's going on around us. You know what I'm saying? So now you see what it is today. They did.
Yeah.
They did. You say you have a book on herbs used to make gemstone jewelry, thinking it had power. Is there anything wrong with crystals on the neck? Those things are natural from the ground. Do they have healing properties and remove negative energy? Yeah, just wearing crystals. There ain't nothing to it other than you seeking to wear the crystal you use to conduct the electrical currents in your body. That's why the necklaces are usually copper and the crystal is wrapped in copper. You know what I'm saying? It's just that this come from people who have a greater understanding of how the body works than some. But because a lot of people don't understand those things, they gonna demonize it and say it's of the devil and this, that, there, and the third. It really ain't that deep.
You have one of them bands with the balances.
No, I haven't. But Emma just mentioned like she wear copper rings for arthritis.
Yeah.
Hey, all that stuff. Listen. I can't listen, man. Everybody body different. She can have arthritis and wear a copper ring and it work, and he can have arthritis and wear a copper ring and it don't work. You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as like getting rid of negative energy, I'm not really big on external things or getting rid of negative energy. How I get rid of negative energy, I'm gonna get the hell away from you. That's it. That's how I get rid of negative energy. I'm gonna leave. It's really just that simple. I'm going to leave. Because negative energy is not going to dissipate because you use something. Negative energy is going to dissipate by how you interact with it. And that's it. And you can choose to interact with it in a positive fashion to disarm the negativity, or you can just remove yourself. And that's it. Because I'm not going to meet negative energy with negative energy. I'm just not going to interact with you at all. You know what I'm saying? Because 9 times out of 10, man, when you react with negative energy, you know what ends up happening? You raise your cortisol levels. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't know what that is, that's the stress hormone. And I told you before, that's why black men be dying so early, because you're stressed out. Because basically, your body is not meant to be in fight or flight mode on a continual basis. Because that's what cortisol signal to your body is fight or flight mode. Well, if your cortisol level's always up, then your body always in fight or flight mode. And then that's why your arteries hard, and that's why you have a heart attack, stroke, and death. Because you're stressed out. But yeah, come on, Sibo. What we got with it?
Matthew 15:1.
Go ahead.
They came to Yahushua, scribes and Pharisees, which were of Jerusalem, saying, why do your disciples transgress the tradition of the elders?
See, that's their canon.
For they wash not their hands when they eat bread. But he answered and said unto them, why do you also transgress the commandment of Alahym by your tradition?
Remember, canon is authoritative rules and or standards. So washing your hands before you eat was their canon. Listen what he said.
He said, for Alahym commanded, saying, honor your father and mother, and he that cursed father or mother, let him die the death. But you say, whosoever shall say to his father or mother, it is a gift by whatsoever you might be profited by me. And honor not his father or his mother, he shall be free. Thus you have made the commandment of Alahym of none effect by your tradition. Hypocrites, what did Isaiah prophesy of you, saying,
I know that's right.
these people draw near unto me with their mouth and honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrine the commandments of men.
Teaching canons of men. Emma say bad vibrations in the room make her nauseous. And her body always in fight or flight mode from PTSD, so she got to create space. I'm going to leave. See, a lot of people don't, like when people say you feel negative energy, man, it's only two things that you, as I mentioned, you can do for negative energy. You can remain positive, or three. You can choose not to interact, or you can leave. You know what I'm saying? Because usually people who have negative energy, they want you to continually engage with them in order to keep that going. I say, because I'm not going to engage. You got an attitude, this, that, and the third. I'm not going to ask why. I don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? I got too much junk going on as it is. I'm not going to add that on. Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not going to do it. Because I ain't never been one to be walking around here looking ugly and upset and bring down the mood and everybody else because I'm upset. Because I done told you this before, and y'all know it. Everybody didn't grow up with your mama and your dad in the house. But one thing, and if your daddy was upset or going through it, you probably didn't know it. But if your mama was, everybody know it. You know what I'm saying? And now everybody has to tiptoe around how she feels. You know what I'm talking about? And this, that, and the third. And I ain't gonna lie to you, that junk there is exhausting. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody got time for that. That's why a lot of niggas be ready to get out of their people's house and don't come back. Because, man, I don't want to, man, look at, man, that junk drive you crazy. It drive you crazy. I'm talking about all the way crazy. You know what I'm saying? But I also think that men realize, man, you can't, not every man, because some men come in the house and everybody know daddy upset. He been drinking, he beat on everybody. But some people, that's what they like. Daddy come home drunk, they know daddy going through it. Somebody finna get beat tonight. Damn, that's ugly, bro. I wouldn't even know how to deal with that. Because, boy, shoot, I've been a left. Yeah, I've been there, ran away from home. You know what I'm saying? Because my mama said they had to deal with that, man. She said, boy, they tried to jump my granddaddy, man, for coming home drunk on some other type of time, man. Said they used to plot try to kill this man. Yeah, he was bad. You know what I'm saying? He was bad. That boy came back. I told you he came back from Korea, man. They said he wasn't never the same. My mama said he didn't drink before he went to Korea. Came back, he was alcoholic. You know what I'm saying? And I told you that, man, that wartime stuff here different. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what these people done seen, what they had to do. Them boys don't come back the same. They definitely don't come back the same. Oh, they talking to each other. Go ahead.
We go with Matthew 15.
Yes, sir. Go to
Which one in Psalm 40 and 7, and then 1 Corinthians 15 and 30.
yeah, you can get Psalm 40. But yeah, that's what they canon is, man. They made stuff up. And if you went against that accepted rule, then it was a problem. You know what I'm saying? And it just is what it is. I mean, you see that in a lot of churches now. Like, okay, case in point, when we used to go to Atlanta, man, and he was, and they'll be like, yeah, man, you can't wear shorts. He said you can't wear shorts. I'd be like, where that's at? You know what I'm saying? Where you read that at? I ain't never had nobody tell me where they read that at. Because they say dial on that type of time too. I'm like, where y'all read that at? Because it's not the issue that you said it. It's where you got that from. Well, you didn't get that from anywhere. You made that up based off what you want the accepted rule to be. Not because it says explicitly that you can't do that. I ain't even say just even explicitly or even something paramount to where you could surmise that, okay, we probably shouldn't wear that. You know what I'm saying? Cause shoot, that's dumb crazy. Them boys used to be on, hey man, you can't wear short sleeve shirts in here. But that's different. That's your sanctuary. You can set your rules for your sanctuary however you want to set them. You know what I'm talking about?
Right. Even outside this still can.
No, the men could, but the effectively it was like the women had to be almost fully covered every day. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing necessarily something plainly stated, but it was definitely highly inferred that this was your preferred operation. Even along the lines of you got to have your head covered 24/7. Even though the book don't say you got to have your head covered 24/7. Book say women they only need to have her hair covered when she praying or prophesying. You know what I'm saying? Nah, shoot. What you choose to do outside of that, that's your business. You know what I'm saying? But you ain't got no Bible verse that say, oh, this woman is in sin or she ungodly because her head uncovered. You can't read that nowhere. But that's a lot of people interjecting, like you said, you know, your traditions. This is the stuff that you want people to do. And a lot of people don't express that this is what you want people to do. So then when individuals don't do it according to what they want you to do, and then, of course, they going to start looking at you sideways. Things of that nature. Come on, Sabo.
Then said I, lo, I come in the volume of the book, it is written of me. I delight to do your will, O my Alahym, yea, your laws within my heart.
That's right.
I have preached righteousness in the great congregation.
In the great
I have
congregation.
not refrained my lips, O Yahuwah, you know.
That's right.
I have not hid your righteousness within my heart. I have declared your faithfulness and your salvation. I have not concealed your loving kindness and your truth from the great congregation.
I did.
Withhold not you your tender mercies from me, O Yahuwah. Let your loving kindness and your truth continually preserve me.
That's good, man. 1 Corinthians 15:38.
But Alahym give it a body as it hath pleased him, and to every seed his own body. All flesh is not the same flesh, but one kind of flesh of men, another flesh of beasts, another of fishes, another of birds. There are also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial, but the esteem of the celestial one, and the esteem of the terrestrial another. One esteem of the sun, another esteem of the moon, and another esteem of the stars.
That's right.
One star deferred from another. The resurrection of the dead. It is sown in corruption, it is raised in incorruption. It is sown in dishonor, it is raised in
Pause
esteem.
for a second. Hold on. Mika say, her friend and her husband left straightway. Hallelujah. The stuff she told me blew me away. If someone was caught talking to someone who's been exiled and they're married, they're trying to force the man to divorce his wife. Oh, absolutely they do. And then they're going to take your old lady. I'm dead serious, man. Because the nigga done did it. You know what I'm saying? There was a dude. This old news, I don't know how it got recycled. This junk was like 10 years ago when people were talking about this. But you know what I'm saying? One of his wives now, she came there married to a dude. They claimed the dude abandoned her. And then, shoot, they got divorced. And, shoot, he married her. Yeah, that's what they do. You say you tell the ladies around here just always be ready for prayer, but it's not dated to always have their head covered. I'm not educated on, you talking about the singing bowls. But yeah, that's what they do, though. Because at Straightway, if somebody get put out, they not allowed to have interactions with them. A lot of congregations do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, shoot, they give no contact orders, which is wild to me that you telling grown people who they can't talk to, and not the fact that the order been given, but that niggas actually follow it. You know what I'm saying? Because I told you plenty of time before, I'm not finna tell no grown person. Yes, Nisha. One is wise. Yeah, you got like 3. Yeah, you got 3. I'm not gonna tell no grown person who they can and can't talk to. You know what I'm saying? Even if we in the street, it's the same token. Like, okay, if it's a nigga I don't fool with, I ain't gonna tell you can't fool with him because I don't fool with him. You know what I'm talking about? But I tell you, like how Pimp C told you, say, man, I told you I don't mess with no K rule. You say he brought him to the studio, nigga. That was a cross. You know what I'm talking about? I already told you I don't fool with that nigga. You know what I'm saying? So, if I tell you I don't fool with him, but you fool with him, guess what that is you not to do? Don't bring that nigga around me. You know what I'm saying? And you know you coming where I'm at. It's different if he with you, but you don't know I'm gonna be here. That's different. If I tell you, yeah, man, we're gonna be in the studio, man, 3 o'clock, man, and you bring him with you, hey, boy, what you on, boy? Because you know I don't fool with this dude. You know what I'm talking about? Like, because now I'm looking at you sideways. What you want? Because you already knew I don't fool with this dude, and you brought him around here anyway. Yeah, I'm watching both of you niggas now. You know what I'm talking about? I'm watching both of you now. Yeah, that's weird. But just like, because you know, a lot of people be like, she ain't my friend no more. You can't be friends with her. I ain't gonna do all that. I don't fool with him. Your interaction with this person might not be the same as mine. That's your business. Now, you know, so I'm the type of nigga, boy, you tell me you don't fool with that nigga, I don't fool with him either, unless I've been on it. Yeah, I don't fool with him either. You know what I'm saying? Same token, if you bring a dude around and say, that's my people, well, shoot, he mine too. We gonna do it like the mob. You vouch for him, let him be sour. We gotta kill you like the mob, because you vouch for him. Hey, no, that's how the mob is. You bring him around, you vouch for him, they gonna accept it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm the same way. You say this is my man's. You my people. So if you vouch for him, hey, shoot, well, what's happening then? It's all gravy. But shoot, that didn't turn sour. What's up with your people? But talk to him. You say, yeah, no contact orders. They turn on the person who broke the order, and then the repetitive deliverances where people vomit and manifest. But I have to keep getting delivered regularly by the pastor. My God, today. Yeah, you know, that's what people be on. But yeah, it's a lot of, you know what I'm saying? I've heard a lot of people say that, you know, they get no contact orders. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they basically tell anybody, they use the us versus them mentality. So it's basically like anybody outside of us is the enemy. And they use that verse in John. Where is that? You know what verse I'm talking about? I know I done heard IUIC use this verse before. What is it? 1 John 2, man. Nah, we talking about from about verse.
They wouldn't know from among us.
Yeah, that's what they use on people. Yeah, that's what they use on people. And you remember when some people done left from around here, they thought, man, I'm not finna tell nobody, I ain't got nothing to say about you. I don't give a damn where you go. And I don't say that in no cold and callous way, man. I'm not concerned with none of that. Because that's how people feel you're gonna do. Because even in, I don't know, they say Christian churches do that. They do that in the Christian church, tell you stop talking to people. I don't know though, my man. I don't know. I've heard some people say that. You know what I'm saying?
I don't keep up with you that much. So you know what you're doing.
You said I thought you were supposed to cast me into have no fellowship with them if they done sin in the ways of, man. A lot of people, yeah, those are religious non-contact orders. I mean, a lot of that stuff, bro, man. That's just what the leaders be on. You know what I'm saying? I can't really speak to it. You say sound like man-made religion. Hey, I can't speak to it because I ain't never been involved in it. I've just heard people say that was their experience in some places. You know what I'm saying? And then I've heard organizations, you know, videos of people talk about it. And this verse in John is what they use on people all the time. And I'm saying it because people assume, okay, you going to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Man, I don't care nothing about that. Me personally. Because man, you ain't got no control to regulate where somebody gonna go and not go and all this here, man. And you know, it's kind of like now, you know what I'm saying? We were talking about that earlier, because sometimes Boosie be wilding. Because this junk he got with Kodak going on, he wilding. You know what I'm saying? Now we were reading Carlos Miller was like, you got niggas arguing about what part of the jail they was in, which is crazy. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like effectively, to somebody who ain't in that world, you sound stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like ain't even no way around that. Stupid. But people from that world be like, I get it, but really? You know what I'm saying? Because if you're supposed to be a super gangster, you can't check in. You got to walk the yard. You know what I'm saying? You got to be out there like, I ain't scared of none of you niggas, whatever. But like what we were talking about, man, that man Lloyds was working on getting him a pardon. So 9 times out of 10, they probably told him, hey, man, we don't need you out in the midst of action, because Kodak was at one of the most serious federal penitentiaries in the United States. You know what I'm saying? A penitentiary in Kentucky. It goes, because, now listen, I told you before, federal penitentiary is different. Like say you come in there, you got to get in the car. You know what I'm saying? Meaning you got to get down with the game. You can't be solo dolo in there. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got this thought process of club fed. Man, that's not what. Okay. Get something to the right USP. You find out it ain't club fed in a heartbeat. You'll find out real fast. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to have to be with the Florida boys, or you're going to have to be with them Crips, or you're going to have to be with them Bloods, or you're going to have to be with them G. You're going to have to be with somebody. You think you're going to walk around and go, I'm not affiliated. Okay. Nigga going to affiliate, put a knife in you. You get affiliated real quick, then you're going to be affiliated with death. You know what I'm saying? Sister Regina said, yes, that was her experience. Because I've heard, I know Jehovah's Witnesses do this. You leave, you get excommunicated from that Kingdom Hall, they put a no contact order out on you, man. They don't care if it's your family at all. Mama, dad, and nothing, can't talk to them no more. They do the same thing with Church of Scientology. I know it ain't a Christian church, but they do that there. No contact. Go ahead, Sabo. Oh yeah. It's a lot of people done did.
Yeah, 219.
It's a lot of people done did breakdowns about Straightway Emma. He definitely ruled with an iron fist. Home of the true Straightway truth.
That sounds like a commercial.
He said they went out from us, but they were not of us. If they had been of us, they would no doubt have continued with us. But they went out that they might be made manifest that they were not all of us.
Now, see, that's what they use when people leave their congregation. But do y'all know what this really referring to? Read again, because we didn't talk about it before. He said a lot of people use this verse when people. Facts, Omar. That's why we had to look at it, because this is what people use when people leave the congregation. Listen, man, have we ever read this verse on anybody? For what? Listen, man, no, that's what I would say, man. Booster said a lot of crazy stuff, but he said something real, though, man. If you used to hang with a nigga and a nigga go to talking bad about you because you don't hang with him no more, well, that nigga wasn't never cool with you. You know what I'm saying? Because he say, best believe stop hanging when they talking about you. Nigga been doing that if he a hoe. Because, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got to stop hanging with you and have negative things to say about you, especially if you ain't did nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? You ain't did nothing to me and you choose to go over here, then that's your business. I ain't got nothing good, bad, or nothing to say about you other than shoot. Hey, man, bro went to go do XYZ, and that's it. But that's what people be on, because, listen, that's a part of the narcissism we were talking about last night, man. Narcissists believe that they're so important that you got to be talking about them. You know what I'm talking about? A narcissist can't believe that you not talking about them. Because in their mind, you are the center of they are the center of everything. So when they dip, I know they talking bad about me. I know you're telling your people about me. Check this out, ho. You ain't even that special. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even that special. You ain't nobody to talk about. You know how delusional you got to be in the brain to think that you that important? Man, look at man. It's a war going on outside. Nigga, gas high as hell. You know what I'm saying? Niggas trying to get $1, this, that, and the third. Keep their health together, keep their mentals together, and you think a nigga sitting around thinking about you? The only way you sitting around thinking about somebody is if you's an old dick in the booty type nigga. You know what I'm talking about? Because boy, if you's a grown man, I don't give a damn nothing about what you got going on. At all. You know what I'm saying? Not enough to be discussing it in-depthly. Yeah, you got to be insane, man. You know what I'm talking about? You got to be the weirdest nigga in hell. You be sitting around being concerned about what other people got going on, because you got to be. I ain't talking about hell like the flames. I'm talking about hell in your brain. You got to be in a different type of hell to be worrying about everybody else other than yourself. And if it ain't nothing positive, it's different. Like, man, you know, brother was sick, man. Don't worry about his health. You talked to him, you checked on it. Well, I'm finna call him then see if he's straight. You know what I'm saying? I just seen chick I know, man, she was like, man, people be waiting for your relationship to fail to try their love. Because that's how people be living. People want you to be miserable because they miserable. You know, you got to be a weird nigga to be sitting around, well, I hope she break up with him so I can get her. That called symbology. Listen, man, Jason Black said something the other day, man. Like, he was like, bro, once women seen that dudes will wait around for years to get with her after she been used up. And I know it ain't no lie because I know people who done it. That's when whole culture started. Listen, man, I told you, man, I had a homeboy, boy, he loved that girl when he was in school, man. That girl curved him. was getting ground and pounded, no MMA, and he wiped her years later. You know what I'm talking about? None. You know what I'm saying? None. You know what I'm saying? I done told this before because the nigga from boy, I love that nigga, man. You hear me? That's my nigga, boy. I love that nigga, boy. And I told him we were young, man, bump that hoe, man. You know what I'm saying? If she gonna do you like that, boy, she don't like you like that, bro. He loved her though. You know what I'm saying? He loved her though. And when he got his opportunity to spin the bin, he did it. But you ain't even get her out of bed. She built like a beach ball now. No, cuz. No, man. And I ain't saying that to be rude or disparaging of her. No, what I'm saying is if I'm talking about man or woman, if a person was at their best and they didn't want you, and then they want to come fool with you when they not at their best no more, man, you can't take that, bro. Yeah, you can't take that, bro. I don't care who you are. You can't do that, bro. Because that's a self-deficiency within yourself. Listen, man, I don't care. I don't care who you are. I don't care if there was a man when he was at his best and you want to talk to him and he ain't want to fool with you. Now he broke and now he like, yeah, baby, you know, I always love you. You got to tell him, get out my face. Because when you was at your best, you were chasing these women around. You was doing this, that, there, and the third. Now you ain't at your peak. Now you want to come settle down with me. No. You need to settle down at the clinic. Make sure you ain't got no STDs or STIs. That's what you need to do. Don't come around here with me. No, you can't do that, bro. You can't do that, man. That ain't fair to yourself. Yeah, that ain't fair to yourself. Yeah, nah, bro, you can't do that, bro. No. But a lot of people do it. Look at, man, it's a lot of girls I went to school with. They know it's dudes who love them since school, man. That's who they keep in their back pocket. You know what I'm talking about? Shoot. If I know anybody do it, he'll do it. You know what I'm talking about? Because he's just waiting for his turn. Listen, man, this is something, right? I done told you before, I had a conversation with a brother about this here, man. Especially by spending. See, y'all married now, so you ain't got to worry about it. But you like, nigga, my age, like this here man to say if they fooled with a woman when they was younger, but then they see her again, or a woman see a man she dealt with when she was younger, then they don't see this person who's here right now. They see that 20-year-old version of this person. That's who they seeing. You know what I'm saying? That's not the same person. And that's why that junk don't be, you think be wanting that fairy tale like it's going to work out. It don't never work out because you was looking at the 21-year-old them and not the 44-year-old them. 44-year-old them got mental problems because he done been took up through that. She been took up through that. You know what I'm saying? And you going through it. Can't man, don't live your life like that, man. And that go back when we were talking about, like, you can love somebody who you used to love, or I ain't gonna say used to love, used to be with, but that don't mean I want to be with you. And that's hard for people to have that level of maturity. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for people to understand that, well, how could you love him if you don't want to be with him? I can love you. That does not mean that I want to be intertwined intimately with you in any capacity. Because I actually love you. You know what I'm saying? Again, that's just going back when we were talking about that is the difference of falling in love and loving somebody. Because falling in love is going to be continually dependent on the release of the hormones in your brain and the emotions in your body. And once those emotions and hormones cease, once that cascade is stopped, now the love is gone. That's why they can leave. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they can look at you and they just, oh, I hate you, you this, that, there, and the third. Versus if you love them, I love you, but our interaction wasn't X, Y, Z. I don't want to be with you, but I can still not be selfish towards you. I cannot be envious towards you. I cannot be puffed up towards you. I can still be long-suffering with you. I can still show love to you. That don't mean that I want to be with you. And people don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? Because they think love equates to, I've been waiting for 15 years for you to come back. I promise you I haven't. I promise you I haven't. Listen, man, almost everybody who felt like somebody really, really loved them feel like if that person is still waiting for them to come back, or if they had an opportunity, they would try to get back with them. You know what I'm saying? Because most people have very, very low self-esteem and self-respect. You know what I'm saying? And they can't separate the fact that though I may love you, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? Because they can't understand, like, you could be interacting with them, be respectful, show love and all that, and they gonna take that in, oh, she might still want me, bro. No, she don't. She's just a nice person. You know what I'm talking about? Like, straight up. Oh, he might still want me. No, he doesn't. He's just a nice person. You know what I'm saying? That's why dudes be getting on the internet and be like, bro, that's why when a woman nice to him, what dudes think? Well, she liked me, boy. No, she was just being nice to you, guys. But when you got men who are not accustomed to women being nice to them, guess what? They gonna take, well, she got to like me because ain't nobody else being nice to me. I'm telling you, y'all know I ain't lying, because niggas make these mistakes all the time. You know, when I got on social media, I was throwing. Yeah, I told you that. If you like too many of a picture, that means you like it. I'm like, what? That's what y'all on? Or if they come like this here, like, how can you decipher somebody's intent with no human interaction? Just on the screen, you making this up. Mental illness. You know what I'm saying? Mental illness. You know what I'm talking about? Come on, somebody. No, I was confused. I was genuinely confused with all that stuff. I'm like, you know, I'm from a time where this didn't exist. So what are you talking about? Like, I wouldn't take, oh, you liked her picture, because I know them. And it was a nice photograph. Now it's different if you liking butt naked hoes who you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Clearly you're a pervert. You know what I'm talking about? But if this is somebody I know, I like their photograph, it's because I know them. I'm showing love. I don't want her. It's a nice picture. Just like if you post a picture, you be like, yeah, boy, them hoes want me, boy. Boy, they like them a photograph. Are you okay, sir? You need some medication? It's just a photograph, bro. It's not that serious. But you know, it is for some, I guess. Go ahead, man. Shalom, Sister Gwen. Where we at with it? 38? 1 Corinthians 15.
But Alahym gave it a body as it had pleased him, and to every seed his own body. All flesh not the same flesh. But one flesh of men, another flesh of beasts, another of fishes, another of birds. There are also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial.
What else?
But the esteem of the celestial one, the esteem of the terrestrial another.
That's right.
One esteem of the sun, another esteem of the moon, another esteem of the stars. One star different from another star in esteem. So also is the resurrection of the dead. It is sown in corruption.
It is raised.
And incorruption.
It is.
Sown in dishonor. It is raised in esteem.
That's right.
It is sown in weakness. It is raised in power. It is sown a natural body. It is raised a spiritual body. There's a natural body. There's a spiritual body. And so it is written, the first man Adam was made a living soul. The last Adam a quickening ruach.
The last Adam made a what?
Quickening ruach.
So considering that Yahushua is the last Adam, or the last man, give him the definition of the word. That's what it says, second Adam or last Adam?
Last Adam.
Give him last, man. But they say he the first and the last Adam, man. Or the author and finisher of your faith.
That's katos. That is extreme. Last in time or in place. Last in a series of places. Last in temporal succession.
Last in temporal. Now that just came to my mind, right? And we could, y'all willing, we could juxtapose that. Looking at how the first Adam and the last Adam would be representative of the author and finisher of your faith. You know what I'm talking about? Especially when you talk about from the mystery standpoint or the testimony of the Lord. So we mentioned that there because if Yahushua is the last Adam or the last in the temporal line of succession, he has to show forth the fulfillment of everything the first Adam did in order for us to look at his witness and know this is the last Adam. You know what I'm saying? This is why, of course, I don't talk about it on here too tough. That's why when you look at, okay, the virgin birth, quote unquote, we don't look at the virgin birth because of Isaiah 7. We look at it because he got to fulfill what happened to Adam. Adam was born from Adamah, from virgin soil. There had been no man who had ever touched that soil. no seed had ever been planted. That soil was pure, and he was brought forth. Yahushua got to come the same way. You know what I'm saying? And besides the fact that, you know, you got to, if you're dealing with the altar, can't no tool come on the altar in order for it to be sanctified, to be used. You know what I'm saying? That Exodus 20 and 27, but that's a whole, you know, that stuff we ain't talked about in a while, man. We have to circle back to this type of stuff, man, because sometimes I be forgetting the distance of time. Like, you know how stuff be a long time ago, but sometimes it don't really click in your brain. Like, yeah, that was 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Because talking about that aspect of the virgin birth that I just mentioned, how we look at him, but last time we really talked about that was about 2015. You know what I'm saying? And we never really, you know, circled back around up to that. You know what I'm saying? And you know that 2015 was a long time ago, but you don't really realize how long ago that was. I can tell you this here. This house didn't look like this in 2015. It was a whole wall right there. You know what I'm talking about? You remember that wall? Whole wall right there. You know what I'm saying? That was actually a living room. And it was damn sure what that been churn in here. You know what I'm saying? That nigga ain't had no dead dogs in the grass. You know what I'm talking about? Lee wasn't mean back then. She was only halfway mean. Niggas would record music in there. Lil Johnny came in there and made a song, never put it out. He said he was raw. He said he was raw dog. You ain't never heard a nigga say I'm gonna make a song about the Lord and say we raw dogging it. Y'all did Pale Dirty, man. Y'all ain't even put him out, man. He slid on that song, man. Shoot, now it's outdated.
You say you going to crazy, bring all those things in, dude, brother.
No, I didn't. I ain't had nothing to do with that song not making that mixtape. Don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby. You need to talk to that man. I ain't had nothing to do with that. Man, now you see how you want to blame me for that? I ain't had nothing to do with that track list, sir. Nothing. The only thing happened that night is I told that boy, you can't put that type of flow on the record now. You got to update that. Am I lying? That's what I told him. And he updated, that nigga slid. I'm not going to take that from him now. Beat went off, he kept on going. You know what I'm saying? That was your song. You got to talk to your brother over here why that song ain't making. Going to put that on me. He said, that's your song, so why your song ain't making it then? Why you ain't put it out, nigga?
Skipper media.
That sound like a boomerang. Came right back to you. All you gotta do, you make a YouTube channel, you can make your SoundCloud, nigga. Make your Apple Music, nigga. You using original beats? Nah, you gotta put that on you. You can't get paid on that. Don't do that. You gonna go to jail. That was yeah. That's what I'm saying. I know you made that. Who else was on that song with him? It was him, Pale, and who else? You ain't never put that out. I got on it. We played it. You ain't do nothing with it. Now it might not sound right. That was 10 years ago.
Yeah, it did. Different sound.
Yeah, that's 10 years ago now. Man, you might as well go ahead and put that out for a memorial, man. Just because you know what I'm talking about? On general principle. One time. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? One time for like Fat Boy said, with a decent cookie bush.
He ain't do nothing else. He did that. He kept it flat.
It said, sad part is niggas heard that truth and still arguing about the virgin birth today. Indeed, I don't think many people have ever, Marvin say, take the verse and put it on another beat. Huh?
He got concessions for that.
Yeah.
That track.
Oh yeah, they ain't gonna be able to do that. Yeah. Take the vocals off that song and put it on put a different beat on it.
You can find the right beat.
Shoot, my tail, no, I don't know. That's outside the scope of my expertise. So Monte said it can happen, it can happen.
I believe it. Somebody's going to do it.
Yeah. That was 2016. You made that. Oh, yeah, but that's 10 years, man.
16, 15.
Now I know it was 16 because the studio equipment wasn't in there in 15.
I don't even know they recorded that.
Yeah, y'all did record that. Y'all record that over here, didn't
Like they ain't bluffing or something.
No, they recorded that over here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was trying to say, man, shoot, now he ain't never put that. He just sitting down there holding it.
We played on the conference call they had.
You did.
Definitely did. We went and did the live stream.
You did.
We did.
I so did.
What?
Shoot, yeah, if you got a lot of songs in the tuck, you might well just put them out there, man. Tell them, man, pump it or dump it. Mom Deuce will play it on Clubhouse. They'll tell you how they feel about it. Because guess what? Y'all ain't never got to dump it yet. Not one. You know what I'm saying? Except for Manny. But Manny don't like gospel music at all. I ain't got no understanding. Man, cut that junk off. That's what he do. So don't pay that no mind. You know what I'm talking about? Nah, he don't want to hear no Bible rap. Like your mama say, he don't like nothing. He don't want to hear no Bible rap. He want to hear nothing but classic 90s hip hop and R&B. That's all he want to hear. We on there rapping about the Lord. Cut that off, man. We don't playing that. I don't want to hear that. Except he said in New Orleans. I'm not New Orleans. So I'm not from New Orleans. I can't create that for you. Come on, Zebo. I'm dead serious though. I'm gonna play a lot of y'all music, man. Ain't nobody said, man, cut that junk off yet. Cause I ain't gonna lie, them niggas on Clubhouse gonna say something, nigga. That junk trash. Right now, she been playing a lot of East music. She said that's her idol. He do be sliding though.
Rightfully so.
Indeed. He do be sliding. Where we at with this, though? Oh, you come back to Nehemiah too. What the hell? That's what I get, man. I was around here trolling this damn scammer. Now they calling my phone. Nah, every now and then I'll just be trolling like, if you just do this here, I'll get you 7,000. All right. I'm finna troll you today. This nigga steady messing. I ain't got time for that. Come on, read me verse 16 one more time. And then we're going to read. I meant to read these yesterday. I told you I was talking to my dog. He said we're going through it. Emerson, this thing with the 9 times the Lord slid off by itself. We'll take a look at those because effectively we done with what we needed in Nehemiah for real. Because we had already did verses 1 through 8 already, I believe. Yeah, we did. Go ahead.
Saying the rulers knew not where I went or what I did, neither had I as yet told it to the Yahudim, nor to the priests, nor to the nobles, nor to the rulers, nor to the rest that did the work. Then said I unto them, you see the distress that we are in, how Jerusalem lie waste, and the gates thereof are burning with fire. Let us build up the wall of Jerusalem, that will be no more.
Now look at that. What you derive from verse 17. You see the distress that we're in. How Jerusalem lay waste, the gates are burned. Let us build up the wall that we be no more of a reproach. Go ahead and give him distress. Go ahead and give him reproach.
Distress is raw, bad, evil, God, unpleasant, unhappiness.
You see the wickedness, the evil that we in. Now you know what Proverbs 14:34 say. Sin is a what? To any people. You know what Isaiah 4 say? Let us be called by your name that you might what? Take away our what? And what it say about Joseph? Alahym is taking away my what? My God today.
Reproaches, kerpah, that is reproach or scorn.
Take away my scorn. Take away my dishonor. Take away my stain. So now when you look at verse 17 as it pertains to the gospel is concerned, they saying, hey, you see Jerusalem and the evil that we in. Or Alahym so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son that those that believe in him should not perish. Or the fact that if you don't believe that I am he, you shall die in your sins. He see the people in their sins. He see that they burned and destroyed and laid waste. Let us take away their reproach. Let us build up the wall to take away their reproach. And again, he say, this is Peter upon whom I will build my house. What that boy said on Snowfall, brick by brick, lively stone by lively stone. You know what I'm talking about? Come on with it, bud. Verse 18.
And I told them of the hand of my Alahym, which was good upon me.
He told them what?
Of the hand of my Alahym, which
as
was good
also the king's words,
that he had spoken unto
and
me.
they said,
Let us rise up and
so
build
they strengthened their hands.
for this good work.
Now, see, now you hear verse 18. Remember, because verse 16, he said, hey, where I went and what I did, I didn't tell them. But now verse 18, he said, the good hand of my God is on me, the king's word that he's spoken on me. And those men said, let us get up and build. And he strengthened their hands so they could do the good work. Luke 24 and 21, or 25, I should say. Now you see how that seamlessly flow right into the gospel, clean. That's what I meant by methodology, right? If we was to go to somebody who was of a particular canon and we say, yeah, verse 16, 17, and 18 is referencing Yahushua resurrected from the dead, his apostles not knowing that it states that he would rise from the dead according to the text, and that he didn't tell them none of this, and that when they seen that the people was in their sins, that they going to go do this in order to remove their sins by the preaching of Yahushua HaMashiach. Because what did Peter tell you? He said, man, how should our sins be blotted out? Repent and be baptized in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach to receive the gift of the Ruach HaKadosh. Then he says, by the good hand, I spoke to them the word, and then they got the strength to go do it. Now look what he's saying, 24 and 25. See, they would see, brother, you stretch that. Let me tell you something, man. I've been told you this here, man. My big homie told me when we really got into went from the point of copping jugglers to cooking coke, he said, but you never put no bad dope on these streets, boy. Put that straight drop out there, man. So you don't water down nothing. You don't whip nothing. You don't stretch nothing. You know what I'm talking about? You give it to them the same way you got it. He said, because all these boys got water whip out here. He said, well, if you come with that drop, guess what they going to do? Keep on coming around here. You know what I'm saying? So if we coming with the word, what we going to stretch it for? What we going to water it down for? What that's going to do? Who that going to benefit? Man, there's a whole bunch of people out here selling trash work. And one thing about good dope, little Johnny know what it do? It sell itself. I ain't got to put no extra on it. I ain't got to convince you to buy it. I ain't got to persuade it. If you don't like it, I don't care. Get what I'm gonna do? Keep cooking it the same way we've been cooking it. I would say, but Beyonce mom was out there doing with gumbo. Say them boys were out there throwing up and boo-booing at the same time. No, they said she was serving gumbo at the rodeo. People, all the New Orleans people say, you know, you ain't supposed to serve gumbo in the summer. Yeah, that's a winter food. I could believe that because when my mama made any type of gumbo, she definitely didn't make it in the summertime. Yeah, because they were saying that if you got to take it. She said she was leaving it on the pot for 16 hours. They was like, when you make gumbo, once it cooled down, you got to put it in the refrigerator. She said that it said that root or the fluids around it or spoil, you get sick. Like that ain't something they say you're supposed to let it sit out and get hot. She talking about it sat for 16 to 18 hours, witch's brew. It sounded like she brewed a nigga who don't make no gumbo. Because leaving something out for 16 hours is crazy. Especially consider if you making real deal gumbo, that thing got seafood in it. You got crab, shrimp in that, man. You can't leave that type of stuff in no doggone hot doggone stew for no day, almost a whole day. Man, they showed a video of dude tried. He said, yeah, it is good. Threw up as soon as he got finished. You know what I'm saying? The people will look at that, but from what the people... Like, now, I ain't gonna lie, right? Because you know my mama, them people from Louisiana. And the lady was like, being from Louisiana, she was like, I don't eat Louisiana food outside of Louisiana. You know what I'm saying? Because I know it's not gonna be the same. See, some people don't look at it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of New Yorkers would be like, they want New York style pizza and then get mad when they go outside of New York and it's not like New York style pizza. Why do you expect it to be like what you got in New York? This is Florida, sir. We don't eat that here. You can't get no fresh bread outside of New York. You need to go back to New York then. We don't want no bagel and coffee. Not how you want it. You know what I'm saying? But people don't be realizing that the amount of people that leave their native city, man, and expect food to be like what it was where they came from is startling. Because if I was from Memphis, I wouldn't expect Memphis style barbecue in Jacksonville. I would think I would need to go back to Memphis. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that you should expect Southern soul food in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? You're in Chicago. You expect them to make the greens like your mama make it on the west side? No. Come on with it, man. Oh, I saw this in my brain too, man. Because Dennis said this here, man. He told you they got the sound system at the spot. Yeah, man. I hear let's say the chat just never mind. I had Johnny Ghost up see if he be able to slide and couple these niggas locally. We see what they talking about. Go ahead.
Then he said,
y'all niggas better get performing, Johnny. Don't go up there and forget your lyrics, boy. Cause boy, I got jokes for at least 45 days consecutive. Don't be trying to do no dub tracks, nigga. You got the original beat, nigga. We don't want to hear your lyrics over the top. No, don't put it on the wine. We can do it the next day. Where ain't no wine. We ain't got to do it on Passover. We can do it on day one. No wine involved, nigga. You sober. You know what I'm saying? What day the second on? We could do it, and we gotta sit nigga Friday night or Saturday. Oh yeah, I gotta start definitely early Saturday. Yeah. You want to hear no dub tracks, nigga? That's bad performance. Slow on, Brother Craig, man. Come on. What's wrong with you did to that boy? Come on, man.
And he said unto them, O fools and slow of heart, to believe all that the prophets have spoken, ought not a Mashiach to have suffered these things and to enter into his esteem? And beginning at Moses and all the prophets, he expounded unto them in all the scriptures.
I thought he probably ain't gonna be able to slide.
And they drew near unto the village where they went, and he made as though he would have gone further. But they constrained him, saying, Abide with us, for it is toward evening, and the day is far spent.
I see this shit. I think everybody pretty much starting on the second too. It's probably about the first time in a while everybody like on the same day. Good.
And it came to pass as he sat at meat with them, he took bread and baruch and brake it and gave to them. And their eyes were open, and they knew him, and he vanished out of their sight. And they said one to another, Did not our heart burn within us while he talked with us by the way, while he opened to us the scriptures? And they rose up the same hour and turned to Jerusalem, and found the 11 gathered together, and them that were with them, saying, The Lord is risen indeed, and hath appeared to Simon.
That's right.
And they told what things were done in the way, and how he was known of them in breaking of bread.
That's right.
And as they thus spake, Yahushua himself stood in the midst of them and said unto them, Shalom be unto you. But they were terrified and affrighted, and supposed that they had seen a ruach. And he said unto them, Why are you troubled, and why do thoughts arise in your hearts? Behold, my hands and my feet. It is I
it's
myself.
Me.
Handle me and see, for ruach have not flesh and bones as you see me have.
Go ahead.
When he had thus spoken, he showed them his hands and his feet. While they yet believed not for joy and wondered, he said unto them, Have you here any meat?
Notice it said they didn't believe for joy, but they still were wondering what's going on. Go ahead.
He gave a piece of boiled fish and of a honeycomb, and took it and did eat before them. And he said unto them, These are the words which I spake unto you while I was yet with you, that all things must be fulfilled, which were written in the law of Moses and in the prophets
and in the Psalms
concerning me.
And then he
opened their understanding,
that they might
understand the scriptures. He said unto them, Thus it is written, thus it behooves Mashiach to suffer and to rise from the dead the third day.
The third day. So listen, right? So when you sit back and you look at that, then I told them of the hand of my Alahym, which was good upon me, which is what he just did, correct? As also the king's words that he had spoken unto me. And they said, Let us rise up and build. So they strengthened their hands for this good work. Let's listen how they're going to rise up and build. Keep on reading.
And that repentance and remission of sins should be preached in his name among all nations, beginning at Jerusalem. And you are witnesses of these things.
That's right.
And behold, I send the promise of my Allah upon you, and tarry you in the city of Jerusalem, until you be endued with power from on high. And he led them out as far as to Bethany, and he lifted up his hands and baruched them.
And then that's when you can read from Acts chapter 1 and Acts chapter 2 how their hands were strengthened to go build after he did that. Because I'm also leaving out the fact Acts 1 said he was with him for how many days? 40 days. You know what I'm saying? You think he wasn't giving them more instruction and more teaching in them 40 days? You smoking crack. You know what I'm saying? So you got these 40 days. That's more thing they can rise up and go build. But see, Paul, I meant to mention this last night. That portion of Nehemiah, we done that. Matter of fact, we done that entire chapter. So praise be to you. But I told you I was talking to my little dog, and he was mentioning, okay, I need to separate myself from these people for some calm. In this article that speaks to that. We're gonna look at these verses. Why are we gonna look at this here, right? Because we talked about that before, right? About the Lord sliding. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, as a man, y'all already know that. And it's funny because I was looking at Ryan Davis's bit when he was like, you know what I'm saying? Your old lady be tripping when you be quiet. He's like, oh, he's having peace. Let me go ruin it. You know what I'm saying? You seen that beat he did with that? Just hilarious. But, you know, as a man, people be confused that when you got stuff going through your brain, that you like, I'm finna slide over here, or you not talking. Because the reality is, what is there to talk about? You know what I'm saying? Right now, I need quiet. You know what I'm saying? Now, when you take this in the aspect of, from a godly standpoint, you're going to want quiet so you can hear the voice of God. Because you can't hear it if your thoughts is loud. You can hear it, but you may ignore it. Or even when I say ignore it, meaning it could be like how David put it in Psalms, my soul refused to be comforted. Because there are times that, you know, he could minister to your spirit, but your soul refuses to be comforted. You know what I'm talking about? And that's not you being disobedient per se. That's not you being unbelieving. That's just being whatever situation and circumstance you're dealing with. Your inward parts just don't have the desire for that comfort, because you can know on a natural level at times you may have had times where somebody was trying to give you comfort and you didn't accept the comfort. Not because you didn't appreciate the comfort, not even necessarily because you didn't want it. Just whatever you was dealing with, you know what I'm talking about? It was just that heavy on you. You know, most people don't be considering the stuff that be that heavy on people. Like I mentioned before, you got all these young, you know, I be seeing these ladies online, they always be talking about a male loneliness epidemic and be like, we need to be more mean to y'all so more y'all can kill y'all self and stuff like this here. And I'm like, clearly, this woman's miserable. But I mentioned that is like I can say for my nephew, man, the gist of what, because he didn't leave a suicide note. The gist of what I got from what he wrote was that the burden of manhood was greater than he could bear. You know what I'm saying? Among other things. But that looked like that was the main thing. You know what I'm saying? I done told y'all that before. It looked like the aspect of he felt like at 17 years old, he should know exactly where he wanted to do, where he wanted to go. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't. So in his mind, as a man, he was a failure. You know what I'm saying? Now, a lot of men feel like that. You know what I'm talking about? When they feel like they're rudderless and directionless, you know what I'm saying? Things of this nature, stuff be getting to be heavy. See, people say stuff online because you really got other issues and you think you just want to say something that's going to hurt somebody. But boy, there's people out here going through it. You know what I'm talking about? And like I told you, man, these niggas be going through it. And these young kids, you feel me? Like they say that suicide rate for young children is way higher than it used to be. You know what I'm talking about? So, you know, they be going through it. People don't be understanding that. You know what I'm saying? So they just say some old weird, goofy stuff. You know what I'm saying? But people who really say stuff like that just miserable. You know, there's a lot of miserable people out here. You know what I'm saying? They should be the ones to go jump off a bridge. You know what I'm saying? Get your bitter, you know what I'm saying, raggedy behind from around here. Now, when you're dealing with bitter and resentful people, man, they're going to make it their mission to make as many people's lives miserable as possible. Because that's just what they own. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, come over here to Mark 1, Sibo. You can pick it up at 5. We're going to actually be angling to 12.
And there went out unto him all the land of Judea, and they of Jerusalem, and were all baptized him in the river of Jordan, confessing their sins. And John was clothed with camel's hair, and with the girdle of a skin about his loins, and he did eat locusts and wild honey, and preached, saying, There come one mightier than I after me, that latchet of whose shoes I am not worthy to stoop down and unloose. Mm-hmm. I indeed have baptized you with water, but he shall baptize you with the Ruach HaKodesh.
And it came to pass.
In those days, the Yahushua came from Nazareth.
And he was what?
Baptized of John in Jordan.
And straightway,
coming up out of the water, he saw Shamahim open, and the Ruach like a dove descending upon him. And there came a voice from Shamahim saying, You are my beloved son, in whom I am well pleased.
And immediately,
the Ruach drive him into the wilderness.
And he was there how long?
In the wilderness, 40 days, tempted upon Shaitan.
Now, you take this instance, right, of Yahushua being Dolo. You know, he getting pushed into this particular instance for his trying, his testing. Sometimes, now this ain't something where he voluntarily went dolo. But sometimes, man, you know, you can be put in a period of what you would consider to be isolation for your spirit to be tested, to see how faithful and steadfast you actually are. Now, I think we talked about that tempting last night when it comes down to and we can still deal with that, you know, the narcissistic tendencies that obviously Satan and the beast will exhibit. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you look at those things, man. Like I say, man, people who have narcissistic personality disorder, you know what I'm saying, for the most part, they want to be worshipped. They have an overwhelming sense of I am desirous and needing of all manner of attention and validation. You know what I'm talking about? Like I said, now there's usually some type of childhood trauma that leads to that, and then some people just like that. You know what I'm saying? Now we're mentioning that because I hate to use the term seasons because it gets so generic because people use that there because that doesn't be sounding stupid to me. In this season, I get it didn't mean period of time, but you could just say in this moment of time. You know what I'm saying? You just sound like you're trying to, you sound like you're trying too hard. But that's just me. You know what I'm saying? But you know, at any given time in your life, man, you know what I mean? The man might set you to the side, man, see where your heart at. See how firm you're going to be by what it is that you professing. You know what I'm talking about? Even when you take the aspect and you look at Elijah, he faced that same type of deal when he fled from Jezebel them. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to isolate himself and he wanted to die. Now, we going to sit back and look at that because some people be like, how could he want to die? Man, because when people say stuff like that, I just be like, use a hoe, nigga. That's all I got. And it goes back to what I mentioned last night. Men are dehumanized. Now, I'm going to change that and look at it as men of God, servants of God are dehumanized in the eyesight of the people because you refuse to see this man as a man. So you sitting back looking at, well, if you serve God, why you feeling you just stripped him of his humanity completely? Because he served God and worked for God does not mean that he is not a human being. He just watched all his co-laborers. He watched this woman kill him. You know what I'm saying? The people want to do him bad. The people turning from God, this man is a human being, and he like, hey, man, let's read that for him, man. What I did, 1 King 19, man. Yeah. First King 19. Man, listen what he said.
And they had told Jezebel all that Elijah had done, and withal how he had slain all the prophets with the sword. And Jezebel sent a messenger unto Elijah, saying, so let the gods do to me, and more also, if I make not your life as the life of one of them by tomorrow.
By God today.
When he saw that, he arose and went for his life, and came to Beersheba, which belonged to Yehuda, and left his servant there. But he himself went a day's journey to the wilderness, and came and sat down unto a juniper tree, and he requested for himself that he might die.
He requested that he might what?
That he might die.
Now, see, some people look at that, why he want to feel like that? But remember what Paul say, for me to die is gain. See, some people don't look at that because you think, well, you serve God, man. Sometimes, man, nigga get fed up dealing with you niggas. Seeing you niggas, talking to you niggas. You know what I'm talking about? Dealing with your stubbornness, your rebelliousness. Hell, everything. I'm talking about, he ain't even talking about the children of Israel. He got somebody trying to kill him. Look at what he say why he want to die, man. Listen to what he say he got going on.
It said, it is enough now.
It is what?
It is enough now.
Why?
Oh, Yahuwah, take away my life, for I am not better than my fathers.
He say, hey, number one, if he's saying he ain't better than his fathers, guess what that means in his mind he is? A failure. Now, I'm mentioning this here because every man in here knowing that is probably the biggest piece, I don't want to say fear, the largest trepidation that every man has in his life, that he's going to be a failure. You know what I'm talking about? And then if in his mind he has not succeeded in what he set his hand to do, that can have a deleterious state on his mentals. You know what I'm saying? And that is something that in general, and this is not no knock to no woman, they don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? Because the aspect of, say, happened to you today, well, shoot, you will give you strength. You know what I'm talking about? Because you know what I'm saying? It's not, you know what I'm saying? It's just different. Like a woman doesn't judge her value and her worth internally on her level of success and failure in particular endeavors. You know what I'm saying? Some do, but in general, most don't. Most men do. And that ain't even in general. Most men do. Now, y'all, we're not talking about being a failure as far as being rich, or this, that, there, and the third. But a lot of women don't understand that this man is set to, I want to do this, and then I don't achieve that benchmark. Man, niggas lose their confidence, man. They can lose their will to live, all that type of stuff, because in their mind, they suck. Now, according to what that lady said about Papa, you know what I'm saying? That's what they said. That's what she said. Hey, I can't make myself happy. I can't make other people happy. So if that means, if this is accurate of what she said, then that means he believed he was a failure, even though to us it wouldn't seem that way. So that means whatever he deemed to be success in his objectives was, he wasn't meeting them. So, let me see. She say, I think it's happening a lot more than we realize, especially since some are seeking out counsel. I agree, Emma. I agree. I think now, Emma, we in a space where I think some people are more comfortable to say it out loud. You know what I'm saying? I think maybe 20, 25 years ago, a lot of men probably wouldn't say it out loud. You know what I'm saying? That's why when I hear still people say like black men don't like therapy, that's just not true. It's not like that anymore. There's no stigma with therapy and counsel and things of that nature in the 21st century, in 2026. That stuff is passe. It's just some people may not want to fool with it, but in general, it's much more accepted amongst black folks, specifically men, to seek some type of mental health therapy, counseling, or something of sort to help him walk through whatever he got going on. You know what I'm saying? But in general, you know, a lot of people don't understand that if that man feel like he a failure, then he feel like, what's the point of me being here? Because what it is that I need to be doing, I'm not doing it. And if I'm not doing it, I believe that I'm a waste of space, taking up oxygen unnecessarily. I would rather be dead than continue in this state of failure. Now, the difference is some people, those thoughts persist and they kill themselves. And then some people, those thoughts come in and then, you know, they overcome them. Which is like, we were talking about this the other day, me and Manny, like, you know, it's two things, man. If you run across a young man or a young lady for that matter, and they thinking like that, is you got to tell them, if you done been through the same thing, hey, young blood, I done been through the same thing. You know what I'm saying? I done thought like that too. And because listen, man, when you feeling like that, man, a lot of them feel like, man, shoot, you the only nigga in the world feeling like that. The reality is you ain't, but in that moment in your brain, you feel like you the only person on the earth feel this way. So a lot of them need to hear like, nah, boy, I feel your pain. Boy, I've been there too. You know what I'm saying? I didn't experience that. I know what that, you know what I'm saying? It'll pass. But this is the thing though. You want it to pass, but for some people, it never passes. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, come on, Sabo.
We go with that?
No. Started from the top. This is 1 Kings 19 or what?
I'm going to start back at 1 or the last one I just read?
Last what you just read. What verse you just read?
4.
Read 3.
Saying he went and he saw that he arose and went for his life and came to Beersheba, which belonged to Yehuda, and left his servant there. And he himself on a day's journey into the wilderness and came and sat down under a juniper tree, and he requested for himself that he might die. And said, it is enough now, O Yahuwah, take away my life, for I am not better than my fathers. And as he lay and slept under a juniper tree, behold, and Malachim touched him.
Now you got people who they'll take it in their own hands, and then you got some people who ask God to take their life. Just go ahead and just let me go to sleep. Go ahead.
Behold, Malachim touched him and said unto him, arise and eat. And he looked, and behold, and there was a cake baking on the coals, and a cruse of water at his head, and he did eat and drink, and laid him down again. And the Malachim of Yahuwah came again the second time and touched him and said, arise and eat, because the journey is too great for you. And he
been intricate than that. He strengthened them inwardly, because he know, you think this man laying down just to take a nap, he was laying down hoping he wasn't going to wake up. You know what I'm talking about? Now there's people out here, man, who done laid down hoping, boy, I don't wake up. You know what I'm saying? Not because they done took something, but they done made that request and hoping that I don't wake up. That I just stay in the place of stillness and quietness and darkness. You know what I'm talking about? Say youthful ambitions get a real house of cards feel. It do. It definitely do. Shoot, they ain't even got to be youthful ambition, man. Listen, man, this man, they just said they had a story. I forgot what state it was in. Dude went broke, couldn't pay the mortgage. He didn't kill it just himself. He killed his whole family. Listen, unfortunately, you see dudes that do that, man. Them financial problems come in, nigga be going through it, bro. You gonna just kill yourself. You ain't got to kill the kids. They be killing the whole family. You know what I'm saying? And that be the part that push men over the edge too. Like, boy, you've been taking care of your people. Stuff goes sideways. You late on the bills. You know what I'm saying? Then the crazy part is your people gonna be looking at you crazy. So you don't want to put that pressure on them, so you ain't gonna say nothing to them. You know what I'm talking about? But you carrying all that pressure. Again, that's why niggas be having heart attacks, strokes, and all this other stuff, because they carrying that, not to even mention whatever internally they feeling about themselves, because they don't have the ability to do X, Y, Z. Then it be the other stuff that a lot of ladies may not. It's a lot of niggas don't get broke before, but then they was able to bounce back. You know what I'm talking about? And there'll be a lot of dudes when they go broke. You know what happened when you go broke? What happened when you go broke, Sid?
Get on drugs.
Nah, some people do. But what happened when you go broke, Lil Johnny? Shoot, everybody leave you alone. You know what I'm saying? Your old lady leave. You know what I'm talking about? Listen, man, that be the stuff when you hear dudes on the internet be talking about. Because, you know, ladies be like, I don't want no struggle up. That don't really be what dudes be talking about, but they don't know how to communicate. Dudes really talking about, nigga, if I was doing X, Y, Z, and, you know, 50 asked that question on 21 Questions, did it, and I go broke, is you still going to ride, though? Or was you only here because of what you felt like you could get from me, or do you fool with me? Because the likelihood of somebody going belly up is higher than you think, especially if you hustle. You know what I'm saying? Most people just look at it, you know, you got a job, you go to work, set pay, you know, you can get laid off. They ain't what people looking at. Well, if you hustling, man, you know what I'm saying? Like you got to plant and nurture and water what you eat, or you got to hunt and kill what you eat, man. And it's a drought. My God, today. You ever been in a drought before? Well, I was in a drought in a dope game, boy. That's when niggas go to robbing and killing. You know what I'm talking about? Because ain't nothing out here. And when ain't nothing out here, man, and now you can't take care of your people like you've been taking care of your people, you can't take care of this. You know what I'm saying? And I know be like, well, you know, a man's value is not rooted in his ability to provide, but this is the reality of the situation. No matter how you want to say that it's not, it is though. This is how people gonna view him. This men and women and society. Because if that man don't take care of his responsibilities, guess how everybody gonna look at him? You less than a what? A man. And people gonna have something to say about you. And this, that, there, and the third. And dudes know that, whether anybody is saying anything about you or not. You saying it about yourself. Yeah, he gonna go ahead and OD out here, man. Because he gonna feel worthless. Because if I can't feed my family, like I seen T-Pain say, boy, he was so broke, boy, he couldn't even get Burger King for a kid. You know what I'm saying? This is being in the music business now. Now imagine, man, how you gonna feel, man, as a man, you like, damn, man, I can't even get my children a hamburger. Whole time, your old lady gonna be stressing you out. Then you gonna feel like how Beanie Siegel felt like on The Truth. You know that record? Nah, he don't know that record. That's too gangster for him. You know what I'm saying? You know that record, Lil Johnny? Nigga say, I come home, he say, all my wife doing is fussing, and you know what I'm talking about? Talking about I need to change my life. He say, shoot, nigga, I need to change my wife. Know what I'm talking about? Because in those type of situations, all jokes aside, right? That be the hallmark of knowing what type of woman you got next to you. Because if she down with you, she gonna ride with you. But if not, it's gonna be constant complaining, this, that, and the third, which can push and make that man sink into that level of a mental abyss, or the sunken place, as some people like to call it, even further, that can lead him to taking his own life. Because people don't be considering that. Now, is this woman necessarily being vindictive and spiteful and doing that? No, she's more than likely just concerned with her own survival. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm mentioning that because you just seen Elijah say, lay down and say, it's good for me to die. I done failed. You know what I'm saying? So just go ahead and let me die. Because in his mind, I just killed all these prophets, did this in front of these people's face, and they still worshiping Baal. You know what I'm talking about? But you're not going to look at that from a human standpoint. I just went out here. It's just me. is 400. I'm one man just killed 500 niggas. Just pause and think about that now. I just went head up with 450 prophets of Baal, you did. Worked a miracle in these people's face. Said, how long you gonna halt between two opinions? If Yahuwah be Alahym, worship him. And if Baal be Alahym, worship him. Y'all don't operate, and that ain't y'all fault to be honest. Overarching, because ain't nobody gonna tell you for the most part. You know what I'm saying? But I'm mentioning this here because not just because it's a man. This is a servant of God. Nobody would think a servant of God would do a great work like he just did and then want to die. Now, if a man was a servant of God and he said that, how do you feel like most people would look at him? His faith, he ain't no man of God. If he was a man of God, what do he want to die for? Because you just done stripped all his humanity away from him. You just said he ain't allowed to be human. He ain't allowed to have emotions or feelings or thoughts or none of that. And then on top of that, he ain't even take that to man. He took it to God. Come on, Sebo. I think we done with that. Is we done with that? Read verse 4 again, man. It ain't gonna hurt nobody. 1 Kings 19:4.
He himself went a day's journey into the wilderness and came and sat down under a juniper tree and requested for himself that he might die. And said, it is enough. Now Yahuwah take away my life, for I am not better than my fathers.
I'm not better than my fathers.
And as he lay and slept under a juniper tree, behold, and a Malachim touched him and said unto him, arise and eat.
Okay, that's good. Hey, children. Hey, don't come in here with that noise. That's good, man. You can go read Luke 22 just because you know it said, you know what he said in Matthew 26:35, that he was exceedingly sorrowful even unto death. And we done look what that word means. That's literally pointing to he was suicidal. He was depressed to the point of death. But people will gloss completely over that. When you got Isaiah 61, you know what it said in Isaiah? He said, get it for me. Isaiah 61. Oh, y'all finished out there? Y'all need y'all to be quiet. Come on.
Verse 1.
Yeah, tell me what that says.
The Ruach of Yahuwah Alahym is upon me, because Yahuwah have anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He have sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound, to proclaim the acceptable year of Yahuwah, and the day of vengeance of our Alahym, to comfort all that mourn, to appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them the beauty for ashes.
He said to comfort all those that what?
That mourn in Zion. To give unto them the beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the ruach of heaviness.
For the ruach of what?
Of heaviness.
Go ahead.
They might be called trees of righteousness.
Now give him heaviness by definition. So notice that he said he came to take the ruach of heaviness from him, right? Now tell him what heaviness means right there.
Heaviness is hey, that is dim, dull, colorless, to be dark or faint.
To be dark or faint or to be weak. If you got something dark on you, man. But that effectively means that you're what? Depressed. You know what I'm saying? Read Matthew 26:36 on general principle. Oh, no, it's going. No, I got you. Why you would say that, Marvin? He said it sounded like the weight of the sins of the world is where he felt like sorrowful unto death. But we're going to give you a definition of the word in just a moment. Go ahead.
Then come Yahushua with them unto a place called Gethsemane, and said unto the disciples, sit you here while I go and pray yonder. And took with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee, and began to be sorrowful and very heavy.
He began to be what?
Sorrowful and very heavy.
Go ahead and give him sorrowful and heavy.
Sorrowful is peho, that is to make sorrowful, to affect with sadness, cause grief, to throw into sorrow, to make one uneasy, cause him a scruple.
Now, what made him sorrowful is the aspect of he finna get ready to die, which is fair when you're saying it's the weight of the sins of the world, and you looking at it from a spiritual aspect versus looking at it from a human aspect. I know I gotta go die. And the fact that I know what I'm about to suffer has me extremely sorrowful and very heavy about it. And I'm sad enough to the point of wanting to die. Because remember, he's asking for the cup to pass at this moment because he know he about to be tortured. This man is about to be hung on a tree and suffocate to death on his own blood. Go ahead.
Heavy is Adam a nail. This is to be troubled, great distress or anguish, or depressed. And then there's a note that says this is the strongest of the three Greek words in the New Testament for depression.
So he's depressed. You know what I'm talking about? He has a sorrowful depression. Go ahead.
So then said he unto them, my soul is exceeding sorrowful, even unto death. Tear you here and watch with me.
Go ahead and give him exceedingly sorrowful.
And this is paralupos. This is very sad, exceedingly sorrowful, overcome with sorrow so much as to cause one's death.
Overcome with sorrow. So if you overcome with sorrow to the point it caused your death, in general, what that sound like gonna happen? You're gonna take yourself out. You know what I'm talking about? That's how sad he was, man. Now, in this instance, people read this here, but they don't focus on the fact of his humanity and the situation that he had him this distraught. So does that tell you that you can't even, I'm talking about in the eyes of people in this day and time, you're not even allowed to be that sad. If you was that sad, guess what people gonna do? They're gonna ridicule you. They're gonna mock you. They're gonna have something to say about you. Now, we know what he went and did. We're gonna read it in Luke 22, though. Now, you know, we've always talked about this of not allowing people to strip you of your humanity. You know what I'm saying? Because you are a human being. You know what I'm saying? Who has thoughts, feelings, and emotions of all types. More so speaking to the men, because you can't, not only as a man, people want to strip your humanity. You say you a child of God, they want to doubly strip you. Because they believe, oh, you shouldn't have those feelings. You should, but I'm showing you men who God stamped and approved. One who got taken up to heaven in a whirlwind, another one who was the son of God who got taken up in a whirlwind, and they had that going on. So if they had that going on, man, bump and screw any bastard who got something to say about that if you openly express that. May they go to the nearest hell, no exit. You know what I'm talking about? You can get the hell out my face. Because you have to have the ability that I will not even allow you to strip me of my ability to be a human. Because that's something as a man, you had to realize that, oh, no. You're not finna strip me of my humanity. You're not going to reduce me to, oh, I'm a man or I'm a man of God. I can't have these thoughts, feelings, or concerns about this. Man, bump you. You know what I'm talking about? When you do that, man, nigga, hey, man, they can do nothing but respect it or move along. And that's it. Because if the son of God and Elijah had these type of thoughts and feelings, then guess what that means? Any one of us can have them too. Go ahead.
What verse in 22?
Oh, my bad. 39.
Came on one as he was going to the Mount of Olives, pray that you enter not into temptation. He was withdrawn from them about a stone's cast and kneeled down and prayed, saying, Abba, if you be willing, remove this cup from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done.
That's right.
And they repaired to Alahym unto him from Shamaim, strengthening him. And being in agony, he prayed more earnestly, and his sweat was as it was great drops of blood falling down to the ground.
That's right.
And when he rose up from prayer and was come to his disciples, he found them sleeping for sorrow. And said unto them, why sleep you? Rise and pray.
Now you know that this Malachim come and strengthen him. You know what I'm saying? The same way that when Elijah was under death, what the Malachim came and did, strengthened him. You know what I'm saying? But in both instances, these men sought their God when they was in this particular situation. Now, that's the first thing you should do. And if you want to seek people, then by all means do so. You know what I'm saying? But you need to seek God first. You know what I'm talking about? Because I'm telling you, I know this from living for 45 years. This is why I told you last night, you share your vulnerabilities and you ain't overcame them if you want to. And people going to throw that stuff in your face because they don't want you as a man to have the right to be human. You know what I'm saying? That you a man of God, you can't be suicidal. You can't be depressed. You can't be that. Says who, ho nigga? You, man, bump you. You know what I'm talking about? Because what that does is it diminishes your ability to even be able to express and work through these things if you even have the desire to speak them out loud. And you know what ends up happening? Boom goes the dynamite. Bullet in your brain. You seen that? I told you about that junk with that boy, Gangster Williams said, man, told Crazy K, man.
I believe so.
That junk had me tripping, man. That boy say, man, he say, yeah, I got shot in the head. He say, so what was going through your mind besides that bullet? Well, what crazy was, Jet say, man, he got shot in his head 3 times. He said he couldn't feel nothing. And he thought he was going to die. Now, can you imagine that? You can't feel your body, but your brain's still working. And you'll have people that'll tell him he wouldn't be allowed to be traumatized or feel however he felt. Nigga shot me in my head 3 times, cuz. You know what I'm saying? You can say the same thing. You look at Ace, people say something about this, that, and the third. Mm-hmm. Man, I watched 3 of my homeboys die in my face, and I got shot 8 times too. What you think that gonna do to his brain? That's gonna mess you up. That's not even talking about no life struggles. No life struggles. Now, let's say you didn't have that type of trauma. You feel me? You as a man, they feel like you ain't supposed to have no feelings about life struggles. That's why it's important that, you know what I'm saying? That's why we take, man, if the little boy cry, let him cry. Then after that, walk him through it. You know what I'm saying? Because he got to have that ability, boy, because if he don't have that cognitive ability to be able to walk through whatever he feeling as he grow and become a man, that's how nigga kill themselves, bro. And you can have that ability and still kill yourself. Listen, man, I know people who done been in that road, man, them thoughts be so suffocating, and the only thing they want to do is turn them off. And the only way they can turn them off is by cutting the lights out. You know what I'm talking about? Because every man in here know it when you got all them thoughts in your brain. They don't stop until whatever you're dealing with is overcame. They don't stop. But come on, Sibo, we need to go to Mark. Mark 1 and 29, I believe. Like I said, man, I meant to read it last night, but praise be to Yahuwah, it worked out well. Because like I said, man, I could hear the little brother voice yesterday, man. The brother going through it. You know what I'm saying? And he wasn't going through it from the aspect of personal life. He was going through it like, man, I be talking to these people about the word, man, and I'm dealing with this and dealing with that, and it be weighing on it. See, I respect the fact that he had the ability to even say something. You know what I'm saying? Because some people don't say nothing. Because, you know the people like to mention, be like, check on your strong friend. Most men are, you know what I'm saying, just considered you got to be strong. Like when my mama died, man, my homegirl who I grew up with, when she found out about it, she was just like, hey, man, just make sure somebody there for you. You know what I'm talking about? Because most people will look at you and be like, shoot, that nigga can deal with it. That nigga can deal with it. They can deal with it. And some niggas can. But guess what that means? What else that means? You ever put 315 pounds on your back? You ain't never squatted that much. You done did that much before? 315. Damn, so I'm the only one. God damn.
I thought Johnny might have done that.
Johnny ain't did no, because Johnny did a squat. It was a quarter squat. You know what I'm talking about? That boy ain't even get complete deflection. You know what I'm saying? That boy did like that. But that ain't no squat. All those side, boy, the most I ever did was 405, man. Let me tell you something, man. There's somebody else who can squat 500, they be, that 405 light. That don't mean that weight ain't heavy, though. You know what I'm talking about? That don't mean that weight ain't heavy, though. Just because I got this weight on my back and I can squat it, that don't mean that weight ain't heavy, though. Just because I'm strong enough to squat 405 didn't mean that weight wasn't heavy. You know what I'm saying? Just because I'm strong enough to deal something don't mean that weight ain't heavy. You know what I'm saying? And that's what people got to consider. Just because I can do it, that don't mean that wasn't that ignorant. I done deadlifted 405, nigga. That junk was heavy, boy. You know what I'm talking about? And I done seen grown men deadlift 500-600. And you know what I knew? Just because I did that 405, I know that 600 was heavy. You know what I'm talking about? And not this 405 was heavy. I only got it for 3. But I got him though. That nigga just did 600 for 8. You know what I'm talking about? Shoot, man. Hold on, man. He said, you only one said, he said, some of the main causes of suicide of former service members, survivor's guilt, imposter syndrome once out of the military and the civilian life, and guilt from taking lives, combat on, I already know it. Shoot. Heck yeah. Let John do something. Because you thinking, he can carry it. Yeah, I can carry it. That John's still heavy, though. You know what I'm saying? And don't nobody never consider that. You know what I'm talking about? Because most of the time, Most people don't think you as a man, you stressed. And you know why? Because most of the time, as I mentioned earlier, men don't wear their stress on their face. You know what I'm saying? So I could be stressed, but I'm not going to walk in the house and wear it. You know what I'm saying? So you don't know I'm stressed. I'm really stressed. Been stressed for about 2 weeks and 2 weeks running. You know what I'm saying? But you don't know that. You ain't going to be able to tell it and that's how a lot of people are able to commit suicide and people don't see it coming. You know what I'm talking about? Because on the outside, he seemed normal. He wasn't normal though. Because I guarantee you with Papa, ain't nobody see that coming. But him. You know what I'm talking about? Because he knew it was coming. Because me personally, I think he was trying to kill himself with that car crash. You know what I'm talking about? And it didn't work. Because sometimes people be reticent with that pistol. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I know this will work. Rather try something else though. Because I don't want to feel no pain.
Yeah, I had a partner. That's what he did. That boy went in the river. He was on the news. And the football team ended up pulling him out. They seen his car go in the river. Next year later, he did it with the gun.
Because, you know, now they do say that women are more effective when they do it. They say men do it more often, but women are more effective. You know what I'm saying? Because women going to do some stuff that they going to make sure this going to work. You know what I'm saying? Say, yes, Lord, I did 500 on the belt squat last week. That's equivalent to 415, 425 on the back rack. Well, I know that junk ain't equivalent. Because I done did 500-600 on that belt rack, and boy, I know goddamn well I can't put 400 on my back right now. No, I'm talking about. Now, I know the numbers are correct, but I'm talking about in actuality function. Well, I know I can't put 425 on my back. No, sir. Not no more. You know what I'm talking about? I did about 305, maybe about 6-7 months ago. I said, you know what? That's all right. That junk was heavy. You know what I'm talking about? My back ain't made for it no more, boy. Yeah, I did that. That belt squat, that good now. You get some good weight on that, boy. You know what I'm talking about? You say you did 660 on the leg press, but not 225 on. I don't even do 660 on the leg. I don't do none of that no more. I hit 1,200 on the leg press one at a time. I wish I would put 1,200 pounds on that. No sir. Not at 45. No sir. And guess what? And weight is relative. That's why I mentioned that whether it's 200 on the leg press, 400, 800, 1,200. Guess what? That's what it might not be heavy to you, but and I'm saying that's the relative of an individual will look at what somebody going through and be like, boy, that junk ain't that serious. It ain't heavy to you. That's heavy to them. That 220 is heavy to him. You think because you can carry 1,200, that don't mean nothing, so you dismissing his 225. That's why he say those that are strong ought to support the weak. Because that 225 heavy to him. Real deal heavy. You know what I'm talking about? Go ahead.
And forthwith, when they were come out of the synagogue, they entered into the house of Simon and Andrew with James and John. But Simon's wife mother lay sick of a fever. And now that they tell him of her, and he came and took her by the hand and lifted her up. And immediately the fever left her, and she ministered unto them.
At even.
When the sun did set, they brought unto him all that were diseased and them that were possessed of devils. And all the city was gathered together at the door. And he healed many that were sick of diverse diseases, and cast out many devils, and suffered not the devils to speak, because they knew him. And in the morning, rising up a great while before day, he went out and departed into a solitary place, and there prayed.
Now, see, we mentioned that. See, now he done did all this ministry work and this, that, and the third, and now he finna go preach some more. And before he did that, you know what he needed to do? I need to go off somewhere, dolo, and make supplications. Now, why is this particular passage important? Because sometimes people don't be. Now, I had a conversation with a dude, right, on Threads, and he was like, people don't realize the physical and spiritual toll it take to preach. I'm like, physical? What the hell you doing? You know what I'm talking about? But then I had to think maybe he wanted them Baptist preachers or something, and you being theatric because you're doing all that walking around and high and movement, you know what I'm saying? So maybe you could be physically drained. See, I don't think that preaching the word in and of itself is going to drain you. But the aspect of getting yourself mentally and spiritually prepared beforehand to go do it, irregardless of what you may have going on, now that's different. And I think a lot of people don't look at that. You know what I'm saying? You just look at it as, hey, he should preach on demand. He should do this. He should do that. This, that, and the third. And again, you know what you're doing. You're forgetting that that's still a person. You know what I'm saying? That's still a person. Because remember what it says in Hebrews. You know what it says in Hebrews, man? But what you ought not to do? No, I do say that. I do say that. I mentioned in another passage. Go to Hebrews 13 and what? 9. Oh, that's in one of Paul's letters. I forget what he said. No, I'm talking about where it's at, but he said, don't look at people above that which is written. You know what I'm saying? And one of those aspects is we look at people who preach the word above that which is written because you don't look at him as a person. Tell me what that say, Hebrews 13 and 9. So that's real though. Those people at like 225 bench is normal. Oh yeah, shoot, not even 85%. Shoot, about 97. A lot of people talk that, man. You know the average dude can't go in no gym and bench press no 225 pounds? Can't do it. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't never had that attitude. And I also never had that attitude that I felt like I needed to do the weight that other men in there were doing. That's their weight. I can't lift that. I'm comfortable working with the weight that I can lift till I can lift what he lifted. But that's also not comparing your manhood to another man based on where he at. Where he at, I don't know how long it took him to be able to do that. It ain't none of my business. The only thing that the least I could do if I was that involved with it is I could go ask him what the process that he took to get to that way. You know what I'm saying? See, that's the hallmark of being a man, not comparing yourself to that man and then feel like you need to compete with him with no knowledge, skill whatsoever, but actually having the humility to ask that man, what did you do? How did you get there? Could you teach me? Could you show me? You got some tips for me? That's when you securing yourself. When you ain't securing yourself, I'm gonna show that nigga I could deadlift 400 pounds. That man ain't thinking about you, cuz. He ain't thinking about you. Go ahead.
Be not carried about with diverse and strange doctrines, for it is a good thing that the heart be established with grace,
That's
not
right.
with meats, which have not profited them that have been occupied therein.
Indeed.
We have an altar whereof they have no right to eat, which serve the tabernacle.
Right.
The bodies of those beasts whose blood is brought into the sanctuary by the high priest for sin are burned without the camp.
Indeed.
Wherefore Yahushua also, that he might sanctify the people with his own blood, suffer without the gate. Let us go forth therefore unto him without the camp, bearing his reproach.
Bearing his reproach.
For here we have we no continuing city, but we seek one to come.
Mm-hmm.
By him therefore let us offer the sacrifice of praise to Alahym continually. That is the fruit of our lips, giving thanks to his name.
Mm-hmm.
But to do good and to communicate, forget not. For with such sacrifices Alahym is well pleased.
That's right.
Obey them that have rule over you, and submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls.
What else?
To say they must give account, that they may do it with joy.
And not what?
With grief.
Now he's talking about, obviously this referred back to Moses because they were grieving. You know what I'm saying? But it's not above it. Nevertheless, and what we discussing, we talking about outside things that ain't got nothing to do with that, because you don't even think that if this person is grieved, he can't do his job effectively. That's pretty much what that just told you. But we wouldn't even consider that this person could even be grieved and that could actually affect his job performance. Give him grieved by definition. Now, again, the context of that passage is different because it's referring to the people not grieving him. Of course, law-wise, that's going to take you to what the people did to Moses. Because the people grieved Moses. And instead of speaking to the rock, he struck the rock. So they were grieving his soul. Go ahead.
That's the nadzo, a sigh, or to groan.
He exasperated. You ever been exasperated? You been exasperated? You got children. You been exasperated. You know what I'm saying? When you exasperated, I don't know what I'm doing. They hitting on my last goddamn. You know what I'm talking about? That's what he's saying, that don't that they may do it with joy and not grief. That's what it means. So you don't get to the point where you just, you know what I'm saying? You done been there, I'm trying like this here. I don't know what it is. You stomach. Huh? You like right now? Who, with Muffin Man? Just exasperated. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? As a mother, other mothers, you expect it. You know you're trying to do that. But if you look at somebody preaching the word, you don't think he could get like that. Or you feel like he shouldn't get like that. You know what I'm saying? But then if somebody turned around and said, as a mother, you shouldn't get like that, you'd be offended. What you mean? These niggas getting on my nerves. So y'all can't get on my nerves. So I can't be exasperated. Now, I'm not saying that it's really all specific. I'm just talking about the aspect of his humanity. You don't think the Lord was exasperated? Because we can read in Mark 3, he looked around with mad, angry with because of the hardness of their hearts when he was coming in there to heal them people. Like, God damn, get on my last nerve. That's why he told you not to murmur and complain. Because now, you know what I'm saying? Who's going to want to serve you and you agitating as hell? Because that's how a lot of people feel. You feel like this person should serve you, and what he feel and what you doing don't mean nothing. But if this person don't do what I want them to do or how I want them to do it, he's a terrible individual, horrible leader, horrible instructor. You know what I'm saying? But you know what a lot of people are? Terrible followers. And that's what he's telling them not to be, because how is this person going to joyfully be able to serve you and you're grieving them? Because a lot of people feel like you should still serve with joy even though you're grieving. That's not fair. Because you imagine how Moses felt dealing with all them doggone hard-headed complaining niggas. I done brought you out here. I ain't even got nothing to do with where we going. Let's start with that. I don't have nothing to do about where we going. I'm not guiding you in the way that I want you to go or I want to go. He telling me go here, we go here. And you talking about, we ain't got no cucumber leeks and melons. You brought us out here to die. What that man say, did I birth all these people?
That's not people to deal with.
Now imagine one man dealing with his old lady. My God, today.
Even like when he transgressed by striking the rock out of that person. He understand why you feel like that, but he still expects you
to do what I asked you to do.
Yeah.
That's why he said you got to give account. And Moses had to give account.
Not no more.
Guilty, because I get it, they on your nerves. I understand. But I told you to speak to that rock. Boy.
I want you to be like me. Man.
Be like me. Tall task.
It is.
Not a tall beer. That's a tall task.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Listen. And I'm only mentioning this here because this doesn't excuse you doing X, Y, Z. It's to really for people to understand, don't strip that man of his humanity. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, whether he's an apostle, whether he's a bishop, whether he's a prophet, whether he's an evangelist, whether he's a teacher, whether he's a minister, those are just jobs. It's not trying to diminish it in no shape, form, or fashion, but they're a job, they're a vocation. Because it said if anybody desires the office of a bishop, he desires good work. That's a job. So you just can't be like, because he has this job that he's no longer a person. Because not only with that job, he got to deal with himself, he got to deal with his wife, he got to deal with his kids, he got to deal with the world, he got to deal with all these type of things, and you just think, oh, nothing should bother him. Okay. Listen, that's why a lot of preachers be on the low getting drunk, smoking weed. On the low. You know I ain't lying. They be on the low. You know what I'm saying? Like this here. Getting high every day. Because they like this. Because why? Because he's not even allowed the space to be a person. So he feel like he got to duck off and escape. You know what I'm saying? Because that's why most people, hey man, when you dealing with stress, but I said it last night, man, I mean that there, bro. When you dealing with stress and your thought process is to alter your mental state, or you immature. Even if you ain't in the word. Because what made you think alcohol was going to make it better? What made you think marijuana, cocaine, ecstasy, Molly, whatever you could find was going to make it better? That was your thought to deal with stress, was to alter your mental state? Oh, that means you ain't where you need to be at in life. You know what I'm talking about? Like real, bro. You ain't got to be on no word for that, man. That's the last thing you should do. Your response to stress should not be, let me alter my mental state. Because now your mental state is altered. Guess what else happens? Your inhibitions are lower. Your inhibitions are lower. You're going to participate in reckless behavior, which means the reality is you might have wanted to participate in reckless behavior the whole time, and you just needed an excuse to make yourself feel better about going to do it. And the stress still going to be there. Or you let your flesh and your mind deceive you to the point that reckless behavior is going to make you feel better, and it's not. It's not. It's not. Ain't no vagina on this earth gonna make you feel better if you ain't whole on the inside. Boy, I promise you. I'm talking about you can get in all the vaginas you want to get in, boy. It ain't gonna do it. You want to smoke, you could find the most cheapest liquor to the most expensive liquor, the purest cocaine, and the strongest heroin and fentanyl, and it ain't gonna do nothing. It's gonna be a temporary fix, and once that doggone them pleasure centers have abated, the only thing you is addicted to fulfill that pleasure again. The issues that you got going on are still there, and now you done made it worse because you done added more burdens on top of it. That's all you done did. You know what I'm talking about? Come on, man. Read me 35. We run this out, but we need to get off of Mark 1. We need to hurry and get off here. Mark 1 and 35. Run it.
And in the morning, rising up a great while before day, he went out and departed into a solitary place, and there prayed. And Simon and they that were with him followed after him. And when they had found him, they said unto him, All seek for you. And he said unto them, Let us go into the next towns, that I may preach there, for therefore came I forth.
And he said, and he what? And he preached in there what?
Synagogue.
He might not jump back on, but nevertheless, right? This woman used to get upset because I'm like, before I got to preach, I don't want to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? And it's an aspect of being rude. I'm trying to get myself mentally in the space where I need to be at for about what I'm finna get ready to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't really just want to have mindless, endless conversation at times. Sometimes I just want to quiet so I can focus. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing personal. Some people can't understand that because they just feel like it's like a light switch. You just cut it on and off. Cut it on and off. You know what I'm saying? Now you do got to be, as we read last night, to be able to be in season and out of season. You know what I'm saying? It's for preaching the word. You feel me? But again, it's not aspect of giving you the space to be human because he let me pray. Now let's get out here and do what we got to do. You know what I'm talking about? What's the next one? The next one on here is, come on over here to Luke 5. It's got some more stuff in Mark. Let me see if we're going to use Mark. Come on, we already in Mark. So go to Mark 1:40.
And there came a leper to him, beseeching him, and kneeling down to him, and saying unto him, If you will, you can make me clean. Thou shalt move with compassion. Before his hand and touched him, and said unto him, I will be you clean. And as soon as he had spoken, immediately the leprosy departed from him, and he was cleansed.
Go ahead.
And he straightly charged him, and forthwith sent him away, and said unto him, See, you say nothing to any man, but go your way. Show yourself to the priest, and offer for your cleansing those things which Moses
We're going to
commanded
Luke 5 because it's telling the same story. Go ahead.
for testimony unto him. But he went out and began to publish it much, and to blaze abroad the matter, insomuch that Yahushua could no more openly enter into the city, but was without in desert places, and they came to him from every quarter.
Now notice he said he slid and ducked off. This is a situation where it's a tad bit different from like we were talking about somebody who got narcissistic personality disorder. I have a job to do. I don't mind doing it, but this fame and these people pressing me, this, that, there, and the third, I don't care for all this attention. So let me go ahead, slide off over here in the cut. You know what I'm saying? So I can focus because some people want that attention and people to, hey, there go Jesus. Woo, 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 woo. Man, everybody ain't on that, man. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I want to be able to be moved around and be left alone. Not because I don't care about what you got going on or don't want to do nothing what you got going on. Sometimes I just don't want to be bothered. In general, you look at people who preach the word, they are not even allowed to have the thought process of, I don't want to be bothered. You know what I'm talking about? And it's not because they don't care about what you got going on. I told you this before. In general, what you see with most people who preach the word, what they feel like, take. And there's never a what? A deposit. Now when you look at more people, they looking at a deposit monetarily. You know what I'm talking about? Because like I said, right? Okay, it's a difference. Like you'll see a lot of people always scream like, why do men don't want to spend time with a woman? They always with other men. And it's really because of one instance. You know what I'm talking about? When you're talking to a woman in a lot of instances, it's going to be in an instructive fashion. It's the same way why grown people don't like to hang with children. Because if I'm talking about from women who stay at home with their kids is different, right? You with your children, there's never going to be a give and take in the communication. Meaning there's nothing that they could necessarily teach you. You always pouring into them. There'll be nothing poured back. So in general, most women want a man who can teach them something. You know what I'm talking about? But the difference is you in general are not going to get poured back into with information. It's just you flowing outward. You know what I'm talking about? Versus if you with a group of men, more than likely is going to be what? An exchanging of ideas. So it might not just be me dropping game. He might drop some game. He might drop some game. Then I can take that game back home. You know what I'm saying? Now, I mentioned the mother part so they can understand. That's why you hear a lot of them be like, I be wanting some adult interaction. Because that's how they be feeling. I can't get nothing from hanging with 4-year-olds all day. I want to talk to somebody on my mental and emotional capacity. And that's why some of them get burnt out, because I'm steady expending and nothing's getting put back in. You know what I'm saying? When you look at somebody who preached the word, well, it's the same. They're steady expending, ain't nothing getting put back in. And then you looking at them like, why you don't want to be bothered? Because maybe I just want to be by myself for a moment and not be pressed by. They go, Jesus, heal me, touch me, teach me. This, that, and the third. Because again, he's flesh and blood. He's still a person. Come on with it, bud. Oh, we finishing that. I'm sorry. I apologize. Come over here to Mark 3. We can just stay in Mark, because Mark got a lot of these accounts, man. Mark 3 and 7.
But Yahushua withdrew himself with the disciples to the sea, and a great multitude from Galilee followed him, and from Judea, and from Jerusalem, and from Idumea, from beyond Jordan, and they about Tyre and Sidon, a great multitude. They had heard what great things he did came unto him.
That's
He
right.
spake to his disciples that a small ship should wait on him because of the multitude, lest they should throng him. For he had healed many, insomuch that they pressed upon him for the
I just
touch him.
seen that, Mika. It's not to seem like a lot of men do suffer in silence, because it just is what it is. You know what I'm talking about? Because in general, as harsh as this may sound, nobody really cares. You know what I'm talking about? Now, of course, there may be people who do care, but in general, nobody cares. And when you say nobody cares, I mean they really don't want to hear it, or they don't have the capacity to be able to assist. Go ahead.
Therefore he had healed many, insomuch that they pressed upon him for to touch him, as many as had plagues. And unclean spirits, when they saw him, fell down before him and cried, saying, You are the son of Alahym. And he straightly charged them that they should not make him known. And he go up into a mountain and called unto him whom he would, and they came unto him.
So now in this instance, he's sliding and then he's requesting who he want to be around him. You know what I'm talking about? Go to Mark 6, with the other one he got listed in here, man. Where to say that, man? 6 and 31, man. Let me see, man. You can make it 30 though. This pretty much gonna knock out some of the other ones, because it said after he fed the 5,000. Go ahead.
And the apostles gathered themselves together unto Yahushua and told them all things, both what they had done and what they had taught. And he said unto them, Come you yourselves apart into a desert place and rest a while. For there were many coming and going, and they had no leisure so much as to eat.
Mm-hmm.
They departed into a desert place by ship privately. And the people saw them departing, and many knew him, and ran afoot there out of all cities, and out went them, and came together unto him. And Yahushua, when he came out, saw much people, and was moved with compassion toward them, because they were as sheep not having a shepherd. He began to teach them many things. When the day was now far spent, his disciples came unto him and said, This is a desert place, and now the time is far past. Send them away that they may go into the country round about. And into
now, of course, you know he fed them, but before all this went down in verse 32, what he did, Silvo, he ducked off. He ducked off. You know what I'm saying? He ducked off because he got a, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes, notice that every time he ducked off, what's the key thing that it always seen that he went and do? Very well done. And you know that takes us to what he told us in Luke 18. Men are always the what, Stevie? And not the what? Not the fame. You know what I'm saying? What's some of you can go to Matthew 14. The rest of them gonna be repetitive with the feeding people. Matthew 14 and 8.
And she being before instructed of her mother said, give me here John the Baptist's head and a charger. And the king was sorry, nevertheless for the oath's sake, and them which sat with him at meat, he commanded it to be given her. And he sent and beheaded John in the prison. And his head was brought in a charger and given to the damsel, and she brought it to her mother. And his disciples came and took the body and buried it.
Now, when he found out his cousin get murked, look what he go do.
And when he told Yahushua, when Yahushua heard of it, he departed thence by ship into a desert place apart. When the people had heard thereof, they followed him on foot out of
And
the
then
city.
look here, he trying to get ducked off so he could process that. And guess what these people doing? Now, that's not their fault for following him. You know what I'm saying? But just imagine the man who you say is greater than the prophet. You know what I'm talking about? Who is your first cousin, get killed, and you don't even get the time to process that. You know what I'm talking about? Because again, a lot of people look at a lot of stuff like, okay, he the son of God. You know what I'm talking about? This, that, there, and the third. He shouldn't have no thoughts, no feeling, no that. Man, this is a human being, bro. This man's still flesh and blood at this particular juncture. That means, remember, it tell you that, man. Read Hebrews 4 and 14. Listen what it say.
Saying then that we have a great high priest that is passed to the Shamayim, Yahushua the son of Alahym, let us hold fast our profession.
Go ahead.
For we have not a high priest which cannot be touched with the feeling of our infirmities, but was in all points tempted like as we are, yet without sin.
If he has our infirmities, give him the Greek word for infirmities right there, man.
That is asthenia, that is want of strength, weakness, infirmity.
So if you got this want of strength or weakness, that means you a human being. And it says that he had those same infirmities as we got. So that means every passion, emotion, frailty that a person can have, he had them too. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, man, imagine you seen that when he seen Lazarus die and said he wept. I mention this here because, again, as a man in general, you dehumanize, you strip of your humanity. Then if you say you a servant of God, a man of God, then you get stripped of it again. So you don't even have the ability to be able to be a human being. Now you notice that each time he was in certain situations, he slid off dolo and went and prayed. We didn't talk about that plenty of times over the years. Even the aspect that he took 3 men with him. You know what I'm talking about? Because I'm just mentioning this here, man, because, man, you still a human being, bud. You still a human being. You know what I'm talking about? We'll finish the last one, Mark 14, man. That's like I say, man. Like I said, man, we could hear the little brother when he came and hollered at us yesterday. He was going through it, and then Emma prophet this right here, man, as an aspect for him, something to look at. We already read it when we read Matthew 26. When he was going through it, he said, "Hey, man, I'm finna slide over here and pray," because this is the part we don't look at. Yes, it's written he was to die. Praise Yahuwah, man. Yes, he was written that he was gonna die. But you still think as a flesh and blood man that he was looking forward to it? And when I say this, thinking that, I ain't no big deal, man. Ain't no big deal. Man, I say, man, I'm sorry for the death, cuz. Man, if it's possible, because you're not looking at him as a human being. You're not looking at this instance that this is a real deal human moment because you ain't never had to do nothing like that.
He already knew what
exactly. He knew exactly what was going to happen to him, how it was going to happen to him. So yes, he said, "I lay my life down. No man take it from me. My Father give me that authority, and I pick it back up." Nevertheless, they finna hang you from a tree, cuz. They finna beat you. They finna pull your beard out. You finna suffocate on your own blood, and you can't do nothing about it.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. And that's when people say, "Well, he's half man, half God." No, cuz he was a man in this instance. He was the son of Adam, looking to become the son of God by fulfilling the text. But in this instance, brother, it's a man. We literally read, it said he was depressed to the point of death. But when people read that verse, they don't really pay attention to what that means, because you can't fathom that your Lord and Master would be so depressed and be so heavy that he would want to die. So if your Lord and Master experienced that, then that means any one of us should be allowed to experience that, and individuals don't look at him crazy like, you shouldn't be feeling like that. You don't believe in God then. If you were serving to God, why you that sad? You know who you sound like? The devil. You know what I'm talking about? Because you know what that type of verbiage is? It's accusatory. It's accusatory. That doesn't show proof that the man who you talking about faith is weak. This show forth that you evil as hell. Because it never hit in your brain to show love to this individual. He said, I think that right there is when I loved them in an intimate way. Well, praise you. You know what I'm saying? You got to consider that. You know what I'm talking about? Like I said, I appreciate Mama Steph shooting that last night. I meant to read this last night. But Lord willing, see it worked out, do it in the daytime. You know what I'm saying? You might not have nodded off and went to sleep. You know what I'm talking about? I'm just messing with you. But nevertheless, because like I say, man, little brother going through it last night. You know what I'm saying? Well, yesterday afternoon. He was really going through it. Because some people get to, regardless of how much people may feel about what people doing, laboring with the word, that ain't my business. But I do understand, like we read with Elijah, sometimes you feel like, am I being successful? Am I a failure? You go to questioning yourself. See, individuals who ain't never preached the word, they don't know what that feel like. I can tell you, I done been there. You know what I'm talking about? They don't know what that feel like, bro. You know what I'm saying? So they speaking from an aspect of you just don't know. You know what I'm saying? Remember, you can read verses where Paul say, do this here lest I labored in vain. Because the individuals don't feel that way. Because see, if you invested in people being successful and you feel like that you are not serving, you feel like you letting Yahuwah down, you feel like you letting these people down, and you feel like, why am I here then? What's the point of continuing to do it? Nobody ever thinks that you should even have them type of thoughts because they don't look at you as a human being. You're just a word facilitator. It's almost like they look at you like you're a machine. You know what I'm saying? Versus a flesh and blood person who is subject to like passions as everybody else. That's what he said about Elijah, and he's subject to like passions yet as we are. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I mean? You got to weigh that out. You got to consider that. Because the nigga try to make you feel bad because you felt like that. Now, see, there's some things that I can say with some colorful language that I'm not going to say because Mama Steph and Mama Sharon here, so I ain't going to do it. For any individual. Because, see, me, I'm a man. So whatever I done experienced, went through, dealt with, felt, thought, I can stand on that, nigga, because I can own that. You can't make me feel bad about nothing that I done been through and experienced because, nigga, I can own that. That's reflective of your character if you think that you could. See, I would tell you to make sure that you juggle or gargle a bag full of baby penises and die. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm trying to remain professional. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, hallelujah for Yahushua in the word. I appreciate y'all time this afternoon, man. I bless y'all the house of Alahym in the name of Yahushua. Y'all willing, man, we'll be back at it on Wednesday. Just remember, man, service time, man. By 8:30, man, on April the 2nd for unleavened bread. You know what I'm saying? We'll put the address for the spot in the group chat. You know what I'm talking about? Well, it's a public place, so I can probably put it in the community chat. You know what I'm talking about? And if you got an issue with me, whole nigga, pull up and holler at me. You can smell my cologne. Today is Rosia Alicia. You feel me? Because one thing about me, man, I ain't never been scared to look a nigga in the eyes, and you can say whatever you want to say to me. What's up, man? Shalom, amen. Praise you who indeed. Shalom. Love you too, our brother Margaret, man. I see. You made that? Oh, Margaret made that. She made an origami. Hey, but again, I appreciate y'all, man. You know, just keep on pushing, man. You know what I'm saying? And as I told y'all in the past, man, allow yourself to feel what you feel, experience what you experience. You know what I'm saying? And keep on standing and pushing, man. You know what I'm saying? Just because you seeking God don't mean you are devoid of the human experience. You dig? So yeah, y'all willing, man? To the next time.